Yeah, baby. Wonder if all my bad decisions get accounted in the algorithms. No statistician could dissuade me from my bigger vision. I know my occupation's quite an unlikely place in this world to occupy and talk about upon a daily basis. Our information's predetermined by some biased business. We all in sermon to Silicon that push out lovely neighbors. I'm done with paper chasing, think I'm on to bigger banquets. This that full circle, new wave, energy on a Tuesday. Turn a blue day to a bright hue, yellow with a smooth A in hair. Extra fruit, the brand, you can't move me. The music is man, it's a con job, but this grand. Been blessed with a great hand amongst many that stank. And yeah, it took some hard work, but blind luck play a huge role. And if they say that it don't, then they feeding you fool's gold. And if I know one thing, the truth's home. Even if it's a tough thing to swallow, an even harder thing to hold and truly know without a doubt while on the globe. And even though that seems inherent, it ain't always so apparent. Dangle carrot, you ain't always gonna get it. But don't worry, it's a pretty February in a year with more to carry and more days is yet to come. Under the sun, taking the ferry to the city where the moment's extra pretty, like the people, like the idea that I keep inside my brain that isn't equal to the real world. All that stress ain't saving me fear though. I swear to God I'm trying, but they pushing their demons down my esophagus, screaming the easy life, what I want always. Praise made up holidays, tell me that love is the answer just to boost this economy. Buy more, sell now, but I ain't following. I ain't a hollow man, I'm full of them fall winds. Take it all with a tall grin, and if you feel it, do it with me. And just sing what the song says. Take it all for what it is. It ain't all so big. So big, so big, so big. Take it all for what it is. What it is, what it is, what it is, what it is. It ain't all so big. It ain't all so big.
Hello, hello, hello. Hey, y'all. It's me, SB.
Dearly beloved.
Hey, guys. It's Monday, and I hope you all are having an outstanding day today. It's the beginning of the week. It was an outstanding day in my town. The temperature was about, 80? It was good, sunny. It was all good, y'all. Listen, I started my routine exercise program today, so I'm dead tired, y'all. I am. You see my hair just crazy sticking up, and hey look, y'all got to work with me. But either way, I'm gonna be here with y'all tonight, and y'all know what tonight is. It's Monday night, so it's the dynamic duo night. So let me bring my co-host up so he can say hello to you guys. Black man, come on up here, say hello. What's going on with you?
Oh, nothing much. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen of the court?
Why we got to be in the courtroom all the time?
The honorable judge, security boss, is with us today. It's so good to be here, Mr. Boss. How are you doing back there in the back? Making sure everything's okay. I'm ready to get started.
Beloved.
Everything's okay.
Yes.
What's going on with you?
You know what?
Have a good weekend. Listen, we're gonna go around. It's so much stuff out there. I just can't even begin. But did you have a good weekend? I'm gonna start there.
I did have a good weekend. I really did. It was pretty good.
Okay, good.
How about yours?
I had a good day on Saturday where I did nothing. I appreciate those days. And Sunday I worked a little bit. You know, Sunday's a good day to work because ain't nobody around, don't nobody bother. You get to think and concentrate on what you got to do. So I did that. I worked in my professional private business, on my private professional business. So I worked over there and got some things done. But you know how it is. You know how it go. But tonight, listen, we're talking about money gives men power, right? So we want to figure out, what does money do for a woman? Because, you know, as of late, you know what? It seems as though money has turned into a little god of some sort, right? And it's like we're leading with it. That's all we want. You know, I can understand why a man would want power and resource. I mean, that's who you all are. Y'all made up like that. But I have questions. I wonder why a woman is so, I don't want to use the word thirsty, but what would you call it? She
She thirsty.
Is it thirsty? Thirsty a good word? Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna stick with that then. Okay. But listen, because I would rather have my man have money and be with him. You know, that kind of flows for me because he gets to worry about all that and go out there and, work hard or be smart or whatever it takes to get the job done. And I could just
Mhm.
be, I appreciate the stability and the security at home. But we're going to talk about that in just a little bit. Before we get started, though, it's something I wanted to share with y'all today. Listen, I got to share this because this is why we kind of got here about this money thing, because I was looking at TikTok. I believe it might have been the other one, Instagram. But anyway, there was a story on there with this man, and I didn't watch the whole video, so I'm assuming that it was him. But he was telling the story, and he's somebody, it's story time. But anyway, he talked about this woman that was his friend. He says she was married and married to a good man, average dude, hardworking man. He loved her. He adored her. Everything was good. And she told him that she wanted to go to school, get a degree. He was like, sure, babe, you could do that. And what they were going to do is she was going to go to school and is going to put off having children until she was done. So he agreed that was going to be good for him also. So once she got her bachelor's, she's like, oh, you know what? I'm not quite ready yet. Can I go ahead and get my master's? And of course, loving husband, he's supporting her because they got a plan. He was like, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and get your master's or whatever. So by the time she got her master's and got out of school, she looked at her husband, the good husband that he was, the good supportive man that he was, and said to him that she was no longer interested in him because he didn't make enough money for her. She was now 6 figures, living her dream. And she left him. Didn't have any kids or anything. So he let her go, went on with his life. She went on with her life. She's having a good time. She living that hot girl, single, 6-figure life. She living that alpha female personality life. We're going to talk about it. But she's living that life, right? And then something happened along the way, after she did all she could do, living that life, she came to the point where she was like sick. Something happened. She wasn't feeling too good, but she brushed it off. Finally went to the doctor, found out she had cancer. The man she was with, not her husband, she hadn't gotten married again, but the man she was with stayed with her for about 2 treatments. And he said he ain't signed up for this. That wasn't going to be good for him. So she ended up talking to the husband.
Oh, no.
The ex-husband, who was now the husband for someone else. And had a child. And he was a good man. He came to help her. But she told a friend that she regrets her whole life because she did all this to get the 6 figures to end up with cancer. And she had to have a hysterectomy, so she would never have any kids. She did all that. Now she's nothing. And her husband, ex-husband, that was a good man then, is still a good man now. And she just regret everything that she did because she had a good man. She regretted it. And the money didn't mean a thing because she had cancer. Now she was having a hysterectomy. She couldn't have kids. So basically she didn't feel like a woman anymore and didn't feel useful for anybody. So this is what brought me to this, because I'm thinking, Dad, your husband's there. He's taking care of you, paying for it. Did I mention he was paying for it? I ain't mentioned that, did I? He said
Paying for what?
The schooling. Did I mention that part?
Okay.
Yeah, he was paying for it. And it just wasn't good enough. You're going to get out of school, get your 6-figure job, and look back at the man you went through all this with and tell him he's not good enough anymore.
You can't buy them over his back.
Listen. So anyway, this is what brings me this, because I'm just wondering what was in her that was so desperate to have that life of what she thought would be so fulfilling, to have everything that she pushed, got exactly what she wanted, but end up having nothing. But before we do that, let's say hello to a few people in the comment section, and we're going to get started. But you got the gist of what, where my mind went with this, right? You understand what I'm talking about. Yep. Because I got a feeling that this may be a lot of women's story. And it may not be, cancer, hysterectomy. It may not be that, but you have a good man and whatever. But anyway, Abram Little, hello, how are you doing? He say it turns them into tricks. That's what the money do.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Dr. Steele, hello, sir. How are you doing? Trey, what's up? Trey is giving it to us already. What money? Trey, let the ladies make some money. Easy money, how are you doing today? Zero Lion, hello. That's Zariah. Is that an I or L? I know I can't see. Sugar Bum, what's good? You know what? Sugar Bum, now you already got a baby daddy now. But I've been noticing that you pick on Trey as soon as you walk in the door most times now.
Yeah, I think she won't Trey.
But she already somebody's, her and
baby mama?
Her and Cheeky got that thing.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
You ain't telling me that security about when
it was
happened.
A hot summer night. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, see. He said he couldn't help himself. She was wearing that blonde wig.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
He caught her. She was giving $5 away to other men and doing all kind of tricky stuff. I told him to walk away. He said no, he just couldn't resist.
Blonde twerking.
Yeah, all of that. But anyway, we're gonna hold her close. That's all. Hold her close. Mr. Gray, what's going on with you? Watch her, Trey. Watch her. You gotta watch. I'm telling you. And then she talking about she loved money. It was $5. It was just $5, Sugar Bum. Mr. Gilbert, what's going on with you? Tisha, how you doing? It's good to see you guys. Thank y'all so much for being here. Y'all could have been anywhere, but y'all wanted to hang out with the dynamic duo. Dre, what's up? Blake Barbie, hello. It's good to see you all. Mr. Boss going through them like I can really catch up with Wes. Good to see you. Big Ed, what's up with you? He going through them like I can really read that fast. I can't hardly see it. Now he going through them. But anyway, it's good to see y'all. All right, y'all. We're going to have a good conversation and hopefully maybe Polite Citizen, how you doing? Mr. Milner, good to see you also. We may drop the link in the end because this might be a conversation piece right here because what, Black man? What are you shaking your head for?
It's because you don't want to say nothing bad about a person who experiencing something like that. But man, for you to do that, and I know a lot of men have probably experienced that, married, lifted their wife to a level, and then her level became, when you lifted her to that level, she didn't contribute. She left, and that's just horrible. She is a horrible human being, and he is a better man than me, because if she called me, I'm definitely sending her to voicemail. Matter of fact, I'm blocking her number. You dealt with your success on your own with another man. You deal with your cancer on your own with another man. I'm praying. I'll pray for you. Lord, watch over her and cleanse her spirit of anything that you feel is need to be cleansed. Other than that, Lord, you watch over. It is no longer my responsibility. I'm now married to my own wife and covering her. There's no reason why I should be covering too. Thank you.
And
Peace.
I think he was such a solid guy that wouldn't ever be the case. I just think that he actually loved her, just flat out loved her.
Well, I don't know what woman would allow that. I don't know what wife would allow a man.
Oh, she probably was with him
to go take care of a woman that dogged him completely out, and he helped her get to where she is. I don't know no woman that could sit there and do that. I don't know no woman like that.
Well, let me tell you something. When you got a solid man, and the woman that he's with now obviously is very secure. They have a family, and he's definitely secure in the relationship. So for a woman, just another random woman, I guess we see her like that, to be in need due to cancer, why not help? I'm sure the wife was with them, but they did. And the moral of the story though is that she lived in regret. Now she's regretting everything. And it was all for the love of money.
Yep.
Because her husband, this average guy who did everything, he met the needs of whatever she needed at the time, right? But once she got that 6-figure job, he was no longer good enough. That's the wackest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Man, and Sugar Bomb says she says she's okay with dying alone. Hey, you listen, Sugar Bomb, you don't have to die alone, sweetheart. on Saturday mornings around 9:30, 10. The adoption agencies for puppies and kittens, they're wide open.
Well, Sugar Bum, technically we all die alone, but I think she's saying that, but she don't mean that.
Right. Ain't no way she gonna be
we're
in the hospital
designed
dying. Ain't nobody there but the nurse. She don't know.
Exactly. We're designed to be with each other. We're designed to have companionship. Okay.
Exactly.
And that would be including you, Sugar Bum. You want and desire companionship. Now listen, whether you're in a spot where you have to die alone or not is just, that's just a circumstance. But you would desire to have someone there holding your hand, loving you, praying over you, even if it's the pastor at the church or someone that's not in your family. You want somebody there that's showing some concern for you, because I can imagine, like Black Man said, if it's one of those things where you're in the hospital, it has to be a very scary place. That has to be, unless you real good, real good, it has to be a scary time to know that you're getting ready to die and no one's there to comfort you.
And you see what Eugene Steele said? He said, here's something I want to say. To me, if the ex-husband did not help the woman deal with her cancer, he would be just as bad as she is. Eugene, I wish we could drop that link for Eugene, because Eugene, his man is married to a whole nother woman. Yeah. This woman's problems are no longer my problems. You left me. You chose to abandon your marriage.
He's not seeing her as a wife now, though. She's a sick person, is how he's viewing it. It's she's someone in need and probably has nobody.
Right. Because, so what?
Because Black man, that's what people do. And guess what? She has no kids. She obviously didn't have any family. The man she was with said the man that she was with, she had one. He 2 treatments, and he said he didn't sign up for this. He out.
Yeah. Sometimes God gives you a whooping, and sometimes we stand in the way of God whooping somebody. And oh yes, because you even from a Bible perspective, that's bad. What goes on in the dark will come to the light. What you reap, you will sow. Right? Yeah, all this is in the Bible.
This is true, and her body was already inflicted with it.
Mm-hmm.
She already had it. She had the cancer, and she had to have the hysterectomy. So she was already cursed. I mean, her body was already cursed. So I'm not going to say I'm totally with Eugene, but I am kind of with Eugene on this. Okay. Not the fact that not the end part. I don't think that he would be just as bad as her. No. I actually love the fact that he went and helped her. But if he decided not to, I wouldn't be mad at him either.
Right. This reminds me of the movie, Why Did I Get Married? The last one. Remember when the guy that left her and called her big? Exactly. And then at the end, he held her hand and say, come take care of me. I got cancer. And she was taking care of the man. I'm like, okay.
Well, but Black man, it says something though. See, remember, I say a lot of times that people go get divorced. It's not the paper. Paper does not divorce you. You could sign a million different pieces of paper that all say divorce, get out, I'm done, quit, bye, I don't like you no more. It could say all of that, and you still go running if that person's in need because you truly love them. He truly loved that woman. She did him dirty. She didn't love him until she needed him. But the whole time that he was there for her, she didn't need him. She wanted him there. And then when she had the 6 figures, she dismissed him. But let's talk about this though. The title of the show today, Money Gives Men Power. What does it do for a woman? What did the money, the 6 figures, do for her? What made her think that it was okay to treat another person the way that she did? What was that in her? And then we're going to talk about this new thing, which it's been in latter years we've been hearing about. It's this alpha female and what she likes and who she is and is it even a real thing? And they say it's definitely a real thing, but is she a marrying woman? And who is her husband? But first, go ahead, Black man, tell me about it. What would make a woman leave her husband this way?
Okay. Money I'm gonna say this since we're talking about the women tonight. Money, that don't change you.
Mm.
Money makes you more of what you already are.
Okay, and what was that? What was in her that he missed?
She was a whore. And she was and she had a very hypergamous mindset. And what she did was she saw the value in this man and knew this man could elevate her. And so she took a risk and said, hey, I'm going to get into this marriage. I'm going to make this man love me. I'm going to give him the best sex he's ever had. And we're going to struggle together. And I know this man going to build me up. He loved me too much not to. And then when she got up to that big money, her friends was like, girl, you making that kind of money and your man ain't making it? Oh, don't worry about it. It ain't going to be long. And next thing you know, you don't make enough. You can't provide nothing. You can't do nothing for me that I can't do for myself. And she's not remembering who gave it to her, right? How did you get there? Your man did what God asked him to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's to love the Bible says, women respect your husbands. Husbands love your wives. That man loved you. He put you on a pedestal. He gave you everything you needed. You wanted to go to school, he provided it. You wanted to go back and get another degree, he supported it. And then in return, you say, nah, you're not good enough. Yeah, that's what she is. She's hypergamous. Let me tell you something, security boss.
Listen, hey, Rona. Rona says she hypergamous.
Hypergamous. Yeah, absolutely. Let me tell you something, security boss, I said today, and I pissed somebody off. Security boss, I'm going to share this with you because I meant to tell you this last week, but I couldn't be here. Remember the lovely sister I was telling you about?
Yeah,
My
your sister. Mm-hmm. Wait a minute, the one that was married to the man in the military guy?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember.
All right, she got 3 kids, 2 baby daddies. All right. I get a phone call. My mom says, you know you're a new uncle. I say, a new uncle? What do you mean, mama? Your sister just had a baby. Now it's 4 kids.
Oh.
3 baby daddies. These I don't understand security boss. I don't understand the mind of these women today. I don't understand my sister's mind. I don't understand this woman's mind who left her husband to go out and be hypergamous with other men. But let me tell you what I told my mama today. I said, Mama, when a woman has a very high sex drive and she's very promiscuous and she's had the penis fairgrounds, before that woman should be able to move on to another man, she should go and get healing. She should go get therapy. She should cleanse herself completely, mentally, physically, and spiritually before she even thinks about being with another man. Because if she does not, security boss, you know what happens? That man's gonna piss her off one day. He gonna make her mad. You know the things that happen in marriage. They're gonna go through a season of disruption, and she's gonna leave that man. She's gonna go back to the thing that gave her peace, which is penis. Mm-hmm. And she's gonna find another man to give it to. She's gonna be like, she's gonna go to her place of peace, which is she was hypergamous, of course, but she was very sexually active. And they're gonna go back to what makes them feel good, and that's being with other men, having sex with other men. So this woman probably, I'm not trying to judge her, but maybe she did have a promiscuous past. Maybe because looking at the situation, you left a great man to be with a man that hadn't experienced anything with you. That new man you was with, he didn't stay up all night watching. He didn't stay up all night with you or covering you to making sure you got out of school. He didn't write the checks for none of your stuff. All he did was reap the benefits of what this man paid for. It upsets me, security boss, because the old thug in me. Yeah. He back there somewhere. I don't mess with him no more. He back there somewhere. But the old thug in me would have said, you know what? When she left me, you know what's gonna happen? Hey Trisha, y'all good? Hey, I need about 5 or 6 of y'all. I mean, you're not just gonna use me for my money.
No, you're not gonna do that. No. This man loved her. Really, it was the picture that was painted is that he was a solid, genuine, loving husband. Yes, he was
Oh,
taken advantage of by her,
sickening.
but he
Sickening.
had an outstanding life at the current moment. And the fact that he went back to assist her, I can only say that he loved her, and he had to be a God-fearing man. He had to be. And I can also say that he took his wife with him. I can imagine that this was something that they did together, and it was just because it was a need. Now, if his wife wouldn't have been with him, she probably would have tried him again. She probably tried to get up on him again, but it would have never happened. But there are people out there that are just that giving, and he was one of them. But far as she goes, though, I'm trying to figure out, because it all seems like it was just for the love of money, that she wanted to be and live a certain life that took her totally out of being covered and living a good life with a man that had already been with her for several years. You know, it don't take 2 years to get a master's. It takes some years. So I can imagine, and I don't remember how long. It's on TikTok, I believe, guys. So y'all might come across it, but they had to be married for at least 10 years. And she left him because she didn't want to have them babies. She didn't want to
And you
have
know
them.
what? And you got to be careful what you ask for. You didn't want to have them babies, and the very thing God took from you when you was down is your ability
Exactly. There you go.
to have those babies.
Yes. And then
Yeah.
guess what? When she had the hysterectomy, or when they told her she was needing to have it due to the cancer, everything at that moment became real to her.
Hmm.
Not until then did it become real to her. But we got to this is that woman's life. But what we're living in right now, and I'm here and I'll be on several panels, different well, maybe just one panel, but I'm here listening. I'll be on your panel, I go here and there.
Right.
What we're hearing now is that money, like I said, it's like a god now. It's like we gotta have it. So I'm wondering, in the woman, how is it feeding us? Because you just made a statement that money just makes you more of what you already are. Whatever I got in me, it just elevates it, or whatever, makes it worse, or what have you. So we need to figure out what it is in us that makes us want money and desire money so much that we can tear the person down that takes care of you and continue to move on, all in the name of money. Because when she got the 6-figure job, she got brand new and left the man. So
we put too much emphasis, and I know money is a great thing.
You got to have it.
You got to have it to provide for your family. You got to have it to provide for your wife. And if your wife decides she wants to work, she's bringing in something as well. But Security Boss, at the end of the day, if we put all our trust in that money, see, I hate to do this because God in me, it says the money is the root of all evil. It didn't say it was evil. It says that it's rooted in it. Right. So you got to have the money to pay your bills. But when it gets to a point, you get rooted in it here. It becomes something that controls you. You worried about making $100,000 a year in a temporary state. Your boss can come to you at any time and say, we're laying off.
Get out. Sure can.
And then the money you depended on is no longer there. Then what do you have when that's gone? What are you going to do? My grandmother used to say this, Security Boss. Whatever my grandfather, she said, and she used to tell us these stories, and I just love her. I need to call her. She used to tell these stories, and she say, hey, whatever your granddaddy brought in here, I made it work. She said before your grandfather got on that pipeline, started making that big money, your grandfather was painting people houses, and he was going to cut people trees down just to make a living. And she said, whatever he brought to me and put in my hand, she said, I made it work. She said, it could be $2, it could be $3, it could be 50 cents. She said, I made it work. And my grandmother said, whatever God want me to have, he will bring it to me at the time he feels like I need it the most. And she said, I trusted God and I trusted my husband. And this is why I ended up in my 6-bedroom home, my dream home I've always dreamt of. This is why I ended up with a pool in my backyard that I ain't gonna never get in because she ain't never been in it. That's a shame. I ain't gonna, for them grandkids, right? I got the house, I got the husband, I waited on God, and God provided me everything I needed because I trusted him and I followed my husband.
But everybody doesn't do that now. See, you talk about a different woman. We're talking about the alpha female, because alpha female is she wants that same power and that same success that we have said that men, that's what money does for a man.
Mm-hmm.
And she's often in a leadership role. She's confident, ambitious, has high emotional intelligence. She's loyal. She's everything that a man is, a masculine man.
Security
but she's
boss,
a woman.
There's a man on TikTok and YouTube right now. I'm going to send you a video later on. He's an advocate for these women. He says, when I got married, and I said the vows to my wife, we wrote our own vows because I didn't want to be subject to making my wife a slave. This is what he said. And he said, none of you women out there in the world should be made slaves either. You write what you want to write. You don't have to follow no vows. Listen to me. I'm a man. I'm married. And he said, the only 3 things that I said to my wife is that I'm going to be your partner. I'm going to be your friend. I'm going to be someone who helps you with everything. He didn't want to do the vows because vows were slave. It's a slave mentality that men want to have over their wives.
He sounds like a beta, and an alpha woman wouldn't want him because alpha women don't want betas. They want men
they equal to.
Exactly. They want the partner, but they still want him to be that man though. They don't want to control him. He needs to possess something a little more than what she does, but he needs to recognize who she is.
Right. It's a security boss. Let me tell you what's going to happen. And I don't mean this in the worst. I don't condone what I'm about to say, but I'm just making it a reality. Women are begging so much right now, not begging. They're putting themselves in a position right now, security boss, to be equal to men. And I'm going to tell you what's going to start happening. Men are going to really, really wake up and start treating the alpha women, start treating them like men. If your tire blow out, security boss, did you see the short I put on my page?
I'm not sure.
A lady waved me down the other day and had a blowout. I got out the truck. I videoed the whole thing.
No, I ain't seen that. No, I haven't seen it.
And I went back there. I said, what's wrong? I had a blowout. Oh, okay. You don't got no spare? No. You ain't got no man? No. You don't have no man to come get you? So what do you want me to do? Because she looked like she had tattoos all on her neck. Anyway, she looked like one of the ones that said she don't need no man. And she was about to cry. What she say, can you give me a ride? Oh no, honey, you can't get up in Black Panther.
No, you can't have
no, you can't get in the truck with me. Because that ain't gonna work. No. So I said, I said, you got AAA? I don't have no insurance.
Huh? Oh wow. You know what? She was single.
I said, you know what I told her? I said, I'll be right back.
What you do?
She's still waiting on me.
Oh, stop. Black man, I don't know if I could do that or not. You got to call somebody at a tow truck, not necessarily AAA, but tow truck. She got to have some. She had some money, right?
She said, I ain't got no money. I ain't got AAA. I don't have insurance. I ain't got no spare tire. I ain't got no man to come get me, and I ain't got no daddy to come get me. I ain't got nobody that gonna come get me.
What about her? Nobody. Oh, wow.
And I say, what about your mama? Yeah. She said, me and my mama share this car.
Oh. I don't know. They have those IMAP people that ride on the highway. Maybe they would have came by and picked up or something. You know,
I videoed it.
Oh, God. See what I'm saying? That's a terrible situation for her to be in, for any woman to be in and not have any type of resources. So understand this. I do understand that women need to have resources. And in her case, there was no men around. So she does need to have money. She does. But it still needs to have its place. So in other words, women, we do need resources. I get it. But when does it get, I should say what's the word I'm looking for? When does it get dirty? It just turns so dirty when it gets to the point where you got to have so much that now the man to help you get it, I'm out. You ain't good enough no more. He actually said that she told him that he wasn't good enough anymore. Because she was now making 6 figures. Now, see, this is my thing. If I was making 6 figures, I would put it in the pot with the man and me and him would be building together and we would just go on and do our thing. But for whatever reason, he wasn't good enough. So black man, okay, I get it. Mr. Boss says egos, it's pride.
Mhm.
Ego and pride. So since when did these women start having this type of ego and pride?
When
Now
they
I know when they what?
When they mama told them, you could do anything you want. You don't need no man. Why are you worried about a man for? You could do what you want to do. Live your life. I just sent you a video today, Security Boss. Did you get it? Where all these women, they got a
Yeah, I seen
whole,
that. I hate that video. I mean, I don't
yeah,
hate that video, but you know what I'm saying. Not,
we don't need
I'm
no
glad
man.
you
We
said it was
educated.
awful. It was awful.
What? So,
Yeah,
so
we're more educated. We don't need no man, and it's just painted black men in the oh god. It's like y'all are like the worst things living.
right. And guess what, Security Boss? That's why I always mention this. That's why in Dallas, downtown Dallas, right? 25 minutes from my house. That's why that man was beating up that woman, and all the men passed by it. That black woman was hollering, "Help me!" That white man was whooping it up, whooping her. And all the black men was walking past her. The black men had their camera out. Nobody assisted her. Nobody helped her. These
Wow.
women at the gyms, ain't nobody helping them when the weight fall on their necks.
See, I'm not down with that because Mr. Boss don't go everywhere with me, and I still want a man to help me. But let's do these super chats really quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Look, Big Ed say the OJ's done already told us what the love of money is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Big Ed, I think you're right. Oh gosh, let's see. Dre, thank you so much for your $5 super chat. He says the money didn't change her; it revealed her abs somewhere. Am I saying that right? Her abs somewhere before and during that marriage. She showed it, but he missed it. Yeah, I believe you're right about that. I believe he missed a lot. And he's still that guy because he's still, even when in her cancer, he went to see about her. So he's still just that guy. Daggone it. She's taking advantage of him again.
Security Boss, did you get a chance to see Anton's show today? The
No.
$1 Million Morning Show. He talked about this, the video. There's another video of a woman who's pregnant, Security Boss, pregnant with this man's baby. This man's out on a bulldozer on a construction site. And he started following his wife because she started acting weird. And he followed her and walked into a house, and a man was knee deep up in his wife, and she got a big old stomach, 6 months pregnant. What they do to that?
Just stop. I know it's a lot. Just stop. That's too much. Hold on. Just stop. Stop right there.
Go ahead.
Polite Citizen. Thank you so much for your $5.50 super chat. It says his most black women align with feminism and hold deep contempt for patriarchal norms, marriage, monogamy, and etc. It's not the government giving money or jobs. It's the black women. Hey, wait a minute. Patriarchal. So her husband was the man. She lived with him okay, so look, y'all, they reduced this to a 3-minute story. So I'm sure there's a lot of things that we didn't get. But it didn't seem like when the man was telling the story that there were issues during the marriage. Didn't seem that way. It seemed as though this woman asked the husband to do these things for her, and he said yes. When she came back, in other words, it seemed as though they had a plan. Her plan was to become more educated, and his plan was to allow her to do whatever it is she wanted to do, but then afterwards they're going to start a family. He did his part. Doing her part is when everything went to the left. So I don't know if that was an issue. I think that she was very well into this marriage. I think it's like what Black Man said. I think she played him the whole time. She strung him along. She strung him along. Now, Dre, thank you so much for your $2 super chat. To her, he was a mark from the beginning. SB Black. You know what? I think you're right.
Exactly.
I think you're right.
That boy right there.
Yeah. I think that's what it was. She played that game for 10 years because I don't know how, even after 10 years, a man has stood by you the whole time and you just decide that I'm out. I'm gone. You know, and the reasoning that she gave, or the story that she told, she told a story to her friend, was that she was now making 6 figures and she no longer wanted to be with him. That was it. It's not that he did anything. So, Clement Gray, how are you doing? And thank you so much for your $5 super chat. He said, SB, that's the problem with our marriages today. It's based off money. When our grandparents and their parents stayed married longer with less. Absolutely. Now we got to figure this out because women never used to desire to have money this way. I mean, we want money now. Don't get me wrong, y'all. But it never had to supersede our marriage. It never had to supersede our husbands or even the men that were made for us. Why is it now? Even like the young lady, Ebony, the bus driver, who knew what he was doing? You know, after doing a little research into her, she wasn't this high earning attorney either. She worked for the public, what was it called? The public, what you call it? The public defender. She worked at the public defender office. And I think that she made about $60,000 and she no longer is an attorney. So that is not what she is right now. And she still found the need to say the bus driver, he had to own the bus. So there's still an issue here with the mindset of what is going on with our women. And that's what I want to know. I want to know what it is. I want to know. That's what we need to get to. Gregory Scotland, Mr. Scotland, thank you. He says Crimson Cure said there is no such thing as an alpha female because that is masculine. It is very masculine.
Right.
Alpha is the definition of the man's nature. Is totally,
exactly.
Totally. Thank you, Mr. Scotland, for your $4.99 super chat. Mr. Scotland, you are always bringing us something from Crimson Cure. Thank you so much. I hope you're taking some stuff over there too now. Thank you so much for that. Dre, thank you for your $5 super chat. He said a woman's power is in her femininity. When she operates outside of it, that spirit takes over.
You security boss.
The term alpha, I despise. I'm a man, period. What you look up? The alpha female?
Yeah, I say, can a woman be an alpha? It says, according to this is what they put in here now. According to this, alpha females means the same and equal to an alpha male. The highest ranking member of one sex who has similarities to the masculine. Oh my God, here it is right here.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Of men. So,
same thing.
That's security boss. That's what I'm saying. When the men, listen, when the women start calling us out and they want to start, I'm telling you, when they get to a point, they say they want it like my son on the football team, they want to add a girl to the team. They want to pad her up and have my son. I told my son, hey, if you at practice, you playing defense, give her everything you got.
Oh, black man.
You want to be out there, give it to her. If you want to be an alpha female and your mama putting you up to it, or these women out here puffing their chest up at men, okay. If you puff your chest up at me, you spit on me, or you hit me with a left, I'm gonna give it to you. If you want to be equal, we got to be equal. I'm gonna treat you like a man. You want to be a man, I'm gonna treat you like one. And I don't want to hear nothing about oh my God, don't start acting feminine then, because some of these women, hey, I'll fight you back. And as soon as you hit them,
you can't do that, black man. You can't. Don't allow these women to change who you are. You can't do it. It's not gonna work out, y'all.
These women out here punching men, punching them in the face.
It's not gonna work out. It's not gonna work out. It's not gonna be good for you, men. I'm telling you, it's not. But listen, I'm going out of order, but Marcus is exactly right. He said Oprah started this. Because when you have a high earning woman like Oprah, and there's a couple of others, but no more like Oprah, what do you call this woman? She can't even find a man to marry her. And she's not going to marry a man. But guess what? You got Beyonce got married, but you got Rihanna. She says she makes lots of money and she's a millionaire. She'll never marry that young man. So now they have just decided to say, you know what? I'm an alpha female and this is what it's about. This is how it goes. Marcus, thank you so much for your $2 super chat. And hello to everyone. Thank you. Big Ed says, SB, the OJs already told you about the love of money. I know. Yep. Marcus, thank you for your $5 super chat. He says, y'all should get Crimson Cure on the show one day. Yes, it's just an idea. I agree with you.
Hey, I have a question for you when you're done.
Yeah, go ahead.
What advice do you give men out here who are in the world right now and they're experiencing, because if you go down in time, I could send you 20 videos right now. We're starting to experience women who are embracing this so-called made up alpha woman. Right. And some of these women are approaching men, security boss. And I saw one the other day, a woman walked up to the man, and when I say viciously, security boss punched him in the mouth. I mean, bust all this up. What do men in this time that we're in right now? What do we expect men to do when these women get aggressive and start throwing hands and throwing bricks and slapping you, spitting in your face? Like I'm seeing it. I saw a man was in the movie theater line. He felt like she felt like he broke in line. She just walked up to him, security body, and bop, bop. I mean, just all up in here at the movie theater. And I'm not
okay, black man. Okay. Let me tell you what I think. Now, Trey is a police officer or a retired officer, so
Yeah.
he says that the law works both ways. But listen to what I'm telling you. As a woman, if somebody's attacking you, that's a totally different situation.
Mhm.
You know, if somebody comes, and they're just attacking you, you have to, of course, protect yourself. That's not what I'm saying. When I say don't allow these women to change who you are as a man, I mean in situations where you have the ability to walk away or don't indulge or don't engage. You need to do that. You don't need to engage these women at all. Just walk away. I mean, they shouldn't even listen. I'm up here now begging y'all not to even give them women your time in conversation. When they get to talking crazy, don't even talk to them. I'm telling you, don't even entertain it, even in conversation. So you got to know. It's just, listen, y'all, it just goes further. Okay. I heard also today that not New Orleans, they've made that like one of the murder capitals, right? Do y'all know that the crime rate for women or the death deletion rate for women has increased so much? They're saying now that, okay, this is some kind of problem. This is an issue. It started out as someone is after these mothers and these young girls, but when you continue to have women being deleted by gunfire in cars, driving away down the street, just all this different type of stuff, not necessarily in a relationship. I'm talking about that type of crime, that kind of stuff. Now they beginning to understand that these women are taking part in some criminal activity.
Exactly. I was waiting on you to say it.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to say it. I'm not going to lie on them. Mm-hmm. Now, listen, it used to be a time where a woman wasn't being deleted in a random gunfight. We didn't show up like that. But now what I'm saying to you guys is this: women are now doing the same thing that men are doing. So black men, I am exactly agreeing with you as far as a woman attacking you, but I'm saying do not entertain these women. Y'all can see it coming. Y'all don't have the conversations because I think they'll send someone else to take care of the situation. I just think that they that grimy right now, that they'll just want to make sure that they win.
You see your friend, what she put in the chat, Sugar Bomb?
Oh, no, what did Sugar Bomb say?
She said, I didn't smack so many men and I never got hit back.
A lot of men. Sugar Bomb, listen, I don't know. Right one. I don't know if you telling the truth or not, but dear, stop doing that. There's no need to do that. You're dealing with a different type of man. And men, a lot of young men now are not walking away. You can't be attacking men, can't be overly aggressive with a man. And guess what? Y'all might be getting into a shootout because, again, these women now are being very aggressive. They get caught up in a lot of criminal activity, but they're not winning. They're losing.
And security boss, don't forget what happened in Mississippi. The husband walked away, and as he was walking out, she shot him in the back of the head.
That's what I'm agreeing. I'm saying the same thing you're saying, but I'm just telling you, if you can avoid it, avoid it. I'm coming from the avoiding side.
Yeah, I understand.
Because I don't think anybody wins in this, but Trey says the laws go the same. I don't believe that. I happen to think you get the wrong judge or the right judge. You get the wrong woman judge or the traditional man judge. He gonna put you underneath. He gonna be like, what you doing out here beating a woman? That's how you gonna see it. You're beating a woman. She did what? Well, she probably had to because she couldn't get away from you. Come on, y'all. And you black. Come on.
Oh, yeah. They pull up on me. They pull up on me. They call him back up and everything. Oh, we got us a big one here.
Yeah. Play the game if you like. I don't think you win. I don't think you win fighting a woman. I don't think you win fighting a woman. Say it again. I don't want her to fight you, of course, but I just think if a woman engages you, because they've been doing it with bricks, guns, you name it. I've seen it. And I've seen men try to walk away, but I've also seen some men fight, like that young man with that skateboard.
Yep.
Did that girl that day deserve that skateboard? No. She got it though, didn't she?
She did.
And they went, and guess what else they did? They went looking for him. They locked him up for that. Not forever, of course, but they went looking for him for that. That was straight up assault. So what I'm saying is this, y'all. We don't win with that type of activity. We just don't. So if y'all can avoid these type of women, and I know they looking like just regular women now, you don't know. We got to be smart, but don't allow a woman to change who you are as a man. I just don't believe that. I don't believe you should do that in any way. Aaron O was saying the same thing. He was like, we're going to have to change and start charging for our protection and our provision. I was like, what?
Wow.
You know, how do you do that? You the only way you can win is get you a good woman and keep her close, and y'all stay away from the trash. You keep her from the trash. That's how you win in that type of situation. But black men, it's women are becoming masculine men.
And you know what's weird about it? I saw a video of a husband. I saw a video of a husband and wife too. I'll send you that one as well. And you could tell they were in a loving marriage, but she was acting very masculine, talking about, you know, if he ever pissed off, she could fight, she could do this. So he gave her the boxing gloves. And security boss, she wailed on him. Boop, 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 boop. And when he hit her, when she was hitting him like that, he hit her once. Pow! She's asleep. And he looked down on the floor. He said, now listen, I love you. He said, I'm just showing you, I'm proving a point here that I'm a man. And you don't put your hands on no man.
You don't. Sugar Bum talking about I carry mace with me. Sugar Bum, do you know there are some men that eat mace?
I was just gonna say it. I'll walk right through it.
They're so off that they don't need mace.
Walk right through it.
I can't believe she said that. Sugar Bum, you gotta do better than that, baby girl. You gotta do better than mace. You'll fool around and spray it and get in your face, and then you really lose there, because most women don't even know how to handle that type of stuff. They'll spray it in the air. No, it's coming right back. Oh my gosh. But listen, I'm saying that they are alpha female is nothing but a man. It's not. It's something that made up, and they made it up to put Oprah and other women that may be like her in some sort of category, because she has everything. And she, you know, her desire for a man is probably a little to none. And what man would actually, you know, want to be with her in a marriage, you know, in a married relationship? What man would want to do that? So they named an alpha female, and it makes them feel real good about themselves. They saying they want to be married. They saying they don't want to be controlling. They're trying to pretend they got all the exteriors, right? But mentally, they're still feminine women. I don't know if that ain't true. It can't be, because how can you be overly confident and all of these things and a go-getter and all of that and still be feminine? Somewhere along the line, you're going to lose some things. Motivating Vision says this: where are the channels that talk about the positive in relationships? Oh my God, I talk positive about relationships all the time. You don't hear me talk about marriage all the time? Maybe I need start one, because I be seeing or know anybody that is going through what I'm hearing. What? So are you saying, Motivating Visions, that you have not, maybe you don't watch the news. Maybe you don't watch the news. But as far as I'm going to deal with the first part, positive marriage. I talk about marriage and being married and how good marriage is almost every show that I have. Now, if you don't consider marriage a relationship, then maybe I can understand what you're saying. Maybe you're saying just in a dating situation, it is not very positive. And you know what? You could be right about that, because men are complaining about women a lot, or they're stressing their concerns about women because women are not being very feminine, and it's very hard to date someone that is yourself. So in other words, they're calling them twin instead of my lady, and that's kind of hard. So if that's what you're talking about, I do understand that part. But as far as marriage goes, listen, I'm team marriage all day, advocating for it. Love to be that. Love to share with other ladies how to be wives and how to attract a good husband and all of that. So if you haven't heard that, and I've seen you over here before, so if you haven't heard that, I don't really know. I'm not sure. But as far as the women now becoming more criminal-like, they definitely are. I can't help it, Motivating Vision. But guess what? We're going to drop the link. Go ahead and drop the link, because someone like you would be very helpful to tell us exactly what it is that you desire to hear. Because Black men, don't we aim to please? I can't hear you.
Absolutely. And if she's looking to start her own channel, this would definitely be the place to come and get some practice. Come on up and let's have a conversation.
Definitely. You know that this is a safe place. Nobody jumps on anybody here for women. Yeah. But I would love to know. But we got to call it like we see it. And if you haven't heard of good relationships, she said she hadn't heard of good relationships, but maybe she's talking about the dating game.
Maybe. Well, when she comes up, we'll see.
We'll see. But anyway, black men, I don't suggest that men change anything about what they're doing as far as what God has innately given them, as far as being an authority, desire to be head of their home, growing to be leaders and all of that. Don't ever change that. Don't allow a woman to allow you to change. Don't do that. Whatever they want to do, let them do it. Okay.
Security boss.
Mm-hmm.
One of the coaches on the that coaches under me on the football little league team that I coach for, he sent me a video and he said, how do you feel about us doing this in our group? And I said, okay, let me watch it. Security boss, I think it's in Minnesota or something. They've started training for football. Guess what they did? They had mom night and they had their moms come out and hit their sons. So I said, they lined the little boys up in full pads and they let their mamas come through the line and tackle them on the ground. Now keep in mind, these are 8 and 9-year-old boys, some of them 10 maybe. And the mama's just coming through, just boom, knocking them down. I text them back. I say, have you lost your mind? There's no way possible I would tell mamas to come out and beat up on their sons on the football field.
What was the purpose of that?
They told me it was mom's night for them to tackle their sons or some stupid. But then what happens when one of those sons, Trey said he saw it. So what happens when one of those sons get under your chin with their helmet, pop, and bust your mouth open? Then what? Mm-hmm. Now we got a different problem. Because I know my son and I know my wife ain't gonna ever want to get in front of my son. He's something different. So that would never happen on my team. But I'm just saying, this is the things that they're doing right now. How emasculating is that to start that at a young age like that, to have their mamas come out and tackle them and run over them and all this other stuff? Why?
I don't know. I don't get that. But let me say this. There's two parts to this, because I'm glad that the moms are allowing them to actually play the sport, because a lot of times mothers are so, baby little boys and be like, I don't want my son to get hit. So this is this and this and that. So classy covered. How are you?
It's two sides to that too, security boss. Some of those women bring, because I know I coach. I've been coaching for 9 years. Some of those mamas bring those boys out there so they can go have free time to do what they want to do. We're babysitters.
Oh, you get to leave them out? Okay.
They drop them off and they leave. We babysitting them boys. On Saturday, their mamas don't come to the game. Some of them don't come. They out, they want to do shopping and having a good time, not supporting their son.
Wow. Let's say hello to Marcus and see what he has to add to this situation. Marcus, what's going on with you today?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Doing good.
What's going on? Yeah, man, that story was crazy. How do you out there? I'm sorry. Let's play a game real quick. If there was a percentage, what is the percentage do you think this is happening? If you had to guess.
You mean just the part of the husband putting the wife through school and then she leaving? That part, or the part about? Well, listen. Let me say it like this. Okay, like how they often say that we have a 50-50 divorce rate, 50% divorce rate. Okay, so a lot of times they say money is a reason for divorcing, right? Or irreconcilable differences or whatever, right? So you're not going to really know why they're divorcing, but I can imagine that this could happen a lot more than we actually know, and people get divorced. The story may not be told the way this one was told, but for some reason, like if the woman got to a certain level, then she would leave her husband because she no longer needed him. She could take care of herself. So no matter how you look at it, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes women, it's just true. If a woman's making enough money that she could take care of herself, a lot of them will leave the marriage because they don't want to deal with whatever the husband, is saying for her to do as a wife. So
Do you feel?
so
Do you
me-
feel like? My fault, I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
Do you feel like she's gonna regret it later on?
She did. She already did.
Okay, okay.
She already did regret it because she had cancer and she had to have a hysterectomy.
Mm.
So
Damn.
so she did.
Yeah. I have to
Hold on
agree.
for a minute, Marcus. Is that your TV?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm at the laundry, man. I'm sorry. I'm helping
You
somebody.
can't turn
I'm
it
sorry.
down. You can't turn it
I'm
down.
sorry. Yeah, I'm
You
sorry.
can't
I'm
turn it
sorry.
down. No, go ahead and say what you get ready to say.
Yeah, but yeah, I agree with Black Man Filter what he said about women. You know, let me just say this. Let me just say this before I even go any further. No, a man should not put his hands on a woman or anything like that. But if a woman wants to act a certain way or whatever, then and step in the lion's den with a man, then hey, all bets is off after that.
You're right. It is. You have to protect yourself, but you can't let them pull you into that kind of behavior. You can't, because
I
it's
get it.
not gonna be good.
I get it, but they need to know that.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do we convey the message? Because it's already enough of them that have been deleted. There's enough of them that are in abusive situations.
Mm-hmm.
How do we convey that message that they're not the equal to the man? What do we do?
Well, we need more women like you that have
Oh.
that's very knowledgeable and has more sense to say like, hey, listen, you can feel this way or whatever you learn or whatever, but you better be thankful and thank God that this man who he is. Like think of us as the gentle giant. Like, yes, we're dangerous, but we'll provide, we'll do anything for you. You feel what I'm saying? But in the boxing ring, like in the boxing scene, there's two faces of us. We're the loving
Right.
father and all that outside of the ring. But in the ring, it's a lion's den in the boxing ring. I'm somebody else in the boxing ring. I'm Mike Tyson, Ali, Floyd Mayweather in that ring. I'm the magician in that ring. You don't want that person outside of the ring.
I mean, look, Sugar Bum is right here. Sugar Bum is said that that's the dumbest thing she ever heard. And Motivating Vision says, wait a minute. She says, just dropping by. I'll come by one day and have a one-on-one with you, SB. All right, well, thank you for that. But I don't know if I got your first comment correct or not. But thank you for being here.
What I said or what you said?
No, I answered her. Oh, the dumbest
okay.
thing. I'm assuming it's what you said.
Well, if it is, then that's the mindset that she has. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. So that's not my problem. So okay.
Oh no, wait a minute. She was talking to Trey. Okay, so she was talking to Trey. Okay. All right. Because I was thinking, listen, we do have to. Go ahead, Black Man. No, go ahead.
No.
What's up, brother?
No, and I was going to say this. It's amazing to me, Security Boss. For me, if I'm having a conversation about a woman, I would love to have you here, right? I would love to have other women here because I think the balance that's why you have Republicans and Democrats, right? That's why you have good and you have you have to be able to sit down and have a conversation with the people you disagree with. And I think it's very unfair and it hurts my feelings that she said she only wants to talk to you and she brought the smoke to both of us. And so I didn't hurt my feelings, but that's okay. Motivation Viz. I understand you saw the vision that you didn't want to come up when I'm up here now. I can understand that.
That wasn't smoke. She didn't bring any smoke.
Listen. Did you hear what she was talking? Come on, man.
I don't listen. I don't engage in the comment section
In the
too
chat,
much. Yeah, I don't.
No, you ain't got to engage. But did you read the comments? What she was saying? Like.
No, I did. I don't unless Mr. Boss gets points it out to me or highlights it or something. I don't pay any attention unless it's a super chat. But other than that, I let them just do what they do because I can't get caught up in it. I can't. Okay. But Marcus, she coming after you now. I see.
Hey,
it
listen. If that's what she want to do, then hey.
No, she's not coming after you. It's nothing. I didn't see it. It was nothing. It was just I don't see it as smoke. She just said she didn't see anything positive in relationships, and often we don't talk positive about relationships because it's not positive. Y'all got this gender war going on.
But who? Okay, fine. But who started the gender war? It wasn't the
Who's-
black man. It wasn't the black man.
No, I agree with you. I'm in agreement with it, but I'm trying to turn it around. I don't care about the gender war. I'm going to talk to the women that are ready to step away from that and say, okay, I'm mature enough now. I get men don't think like I do, and I don't think like a man do, but I do want one. I'm ready to get to that point so we can learn things over again, or learn them the right way and then move on.
I agree 100%. You're saying. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Did I froze? Did I froze or you froze?
I
No,
don't.
you did.
Oh, I'm my fault. I 100% agree with you, and I rock with you and like what you're doing, the work you're doing. Same thing with Black Man Filter. You're 100% right. But the question is, are they ready to do it? Because listen, because the way how I see it, it looks like they like being in that situation.
Well, the ones that like being in that situation are a bit immature, because there's no way that you want to just sit and argue and go back and forth with a person about nothing. I mean, because it is what it is. It's been established that we need each other. And
I agree.
And there's a lot of women out there that are examples of what you don't want. Like we just said, in New Orleans, there's the deletion rate of women is just going up and up and up. So you got to ask yourself why. There's a lot of abuse going on to women. You got to ask yourself why. All these things are going on that are not good. You got a lot of older women that are telling you, you know what, you need to have a husband. You don't want to be alone all your life. You still have all these signs. People are telling you what's going on. They're telling you.
And you got some I'm gonna say it's half and half what you said with the older women telling women to get married, but there's also women telling other women not to get married and live your best life. So it's like, hold up, why would you tell her that? And yet you have the results that she may want. Why would you tell her that?
Yeah, have the result, or even a husband. How about that?
Yeah, exactly. That's the result I'm talking about.
Yeah, that could be good or bad. You know what I'm saying? It could, but my point is they don't have any intentions on leaving that husband, and they still telling the young person, you don't want that. That to me is ridiculous. That is bad. But I just think it's this an immature situation. We haven't gotten to the point where we realize that we do need each other and we should be together, and how to get there. We still concentrate a lot on this thing we're talking about tonight, money. How does it affect us? What does it do for us? Money.
And let me just say something. I had something to say to that too. I don't think money, don't get me wrong, money is important, but I don't think it should be the standard of the relationship. Like, for instance, I remember a couple months ago when I said that my folks have been married or been together for 22 years, right? My dad was a construction worker. He done all kinds of things, and my mom was a registered nurse. Mm-hmm. And I think she made more money than him, and he was still considered the man of the house. Right. And she was still feminine. She was still feminine, nice, and all that. So that's why I'm confused with this whole money situation with women. Like, I get it, but I'm confused because when I look at my folks or some other members of my family that are married, I'm like, okay, is this like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, it's like, to me, I'm looking at it as an excuse. Like, what's going on? Is that just a leeway just to get out of the marriage because of whatever? Like, what's going on?
It's an influence. If you got a group of people telling you that you can do things better if you did this way, or if you can get in a situation where you're making more money, and you still got people who you trust and that look like you saying, hey, you don't have to do that. Women are easily influenced, and we got the Instagram, and everybody's living this real plush life. Women are driving. Oh, we got a video we're gonna show y'all in a minute. But women are driving Rolls Royce. They getting on planes. They doing, they getting these pocketbooks that's $25,000. They, Gucci. Everything is just so plush and nice. It's like, oh wow, I want that. So if I want that, what I gotta do to get it? What I gotta do to get it? Mm-hmm. That's what they're gonna do. They're not interested in, or they can't see just everyday living. Women have a problem seeing the big picture. We only see down the street. That's why we need men. We need men to bring that logic to us so we can see the whole picture, like 5 years from now. Like, look, I'm on a 5-year plan, babe. In 5 years, you could have this $500,000 house if we do this, this, and this. That's what a man brings to us. But if I'm seeing it on Atlanta Housewives and I never seen it before, and they black women, and I look just like them, or I can look like them, then I'm gonna want to look like them. So that's going to be my goal. And then, it just goes on. And then you have all these different ways now to make money. You got the OnlyFans, you got the lashes, you got hair. They got vending machines for hair now. The woman who thought of that, they say she's a millionaire. Think about it. She's putting hair in a vending machine. She's a millionaire.
Is she married?
Yeah, she's married.
Oh, okay.
She is married, but the husbands play a different kind of role. But she's married.
Yeah, he's a beta.
But my point I'm trying to make is it was very innovative. She's a smart girl, and women these days that have gotten their degrees or whatever they're going to do, they're smart women. I don't blame them for it, but they still need to know who they are as wives and ladies, though. Don't give up that part for the money. That's the part. That's where I come in here at. Don't give that up. You got to still know your role as a wife. That's all. That's the part I'm having trouble with too. I'm like, what are you doing? So, Marcus, we're gonna keep doing what we do, and hopefully somebody get a clue.
It's gonna be a small percentage, but I'm gonna leave it at there. I hate to listen. I'm not trying to be doubtful or nothing like that, but it's only gonna be a small amount of y'all. What's that? But the top percent men, but the high value men that's up at the top, that's going to be the percentage of women that are going to get it.
Okay, they said that's only like 1% black.
That's going to be percentage. That's going to be the percentage.
Oh my God. Whew, okay, well, we got to keep doing. We got to get that 1% then. Because you just don't never know what can happen. Money can come and go. I mean, what if we find out? What if the young lady finds out, the lash girl? What if she finds out that these lashes causes cancers of the eyes because of something, the plastic they were made of 5 years down the road? Just think about that. She's gonna have so many darn lawsuits. It's gonna be like, oh, what just happened? Y'all
all that money.
That money. Do y'all remember that movie? What was his name? It was Eddie Murphy was in it, but they made some glasses and they put the little thing in between the glasses right here to make the glasses stand up.
I forgot the name of the movie.
And they made millions. He made millions off of it, but then it made people cross-eyed because they were always looking at the little thing, and they all came back and sued them and got the money. Well, I can't think of the name of the movie, but
I know the name of the title. I know the name of the title.
It wasn't Norbit, was it?
No,
it wasn't Norbit. No, it wasn't Norbit.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's called The Jerk.
It was the jerk. Or was he the jerk?
Okay.
Was he the jerk? That was the name of the movie.
The name of the movie.
It was The Jerk.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my God. So you know what I'm talking about. It could happen. But Marcus, thank you so much for being here, and don't be a stranger.
Hey man, all you gotta do is pull out the leg. I'll come up. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And I see you on cruise season there.
Oh yeah, you know.
Black Man Filter. Nice meeting you again, and have a good night.
Are you too, my brother?
All right, let's bring up Dr. Steele and see what he has to say about all this. Dr. Steele.
Hi, how y'all doing?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. That story about, the woman who was married to a man and the man would, let her go to school, get her master's. And, once she get her master's, she's making 6 figures.
Yes.
That part of the story reminded me of basically the history of women having these egos in the first place. Now, let me say this. I'm all for women's rights. And I thought it was important. Women's rights gave women certain abilities to do the things that men do. But here's where it all goes haywire. There are some women who let those newfound abilities grow their egos. They're saying, hey, look at me. I can do everything a man does. I don't need him anymore. That's where all this I don't need a man mentality really came from from that.
You know
So
what?
now,
You're hold on for 1 second. You're right about that. And I can agree with you about that too, but I'm at the point now, like Sugar Bum says, it's money over man. I'm just wondering what made the man so bad that now I have to do everything. I'm just saying, what is it in these women now that has said that these men are just so bad that money over men,
Well, okay. Well, I think
along with the ego, along with the ego.
I think this is my personal opinion. You know, when you were a child and your parents had authority over you and you became an adult and you said, "Oh, I got power now." And then you run into that situation and you're like, "Damn, daddy was right." Right? It's the same thing with the women. The women have, for the longest, have been led by men. Men have protected them, provided for them, and then they got a little taste of, success, and then they start saying, "Wait a minute, I make $20,000 more than my husband. Oh, I got power now, right? I don't want to be with you no more. I'm out. You can't tell me nothing. I make my own money. I can live without you." Right? When they got that power, that's what happened.
You know what? But you know what? When you just said that, it didn't sound like power. It sounded like freedom. It sounded like freedom. It did not sound like power by no means. Everything you just said, the way you laid it out, it was freedom. Dr. Steele, was that what were you getting ready to say, though? I didn't mean to cut you off, but I didn't want to leave that point that you were making. Go ahead and continue.
Yeah. It's because basically of the freedom that you mentioned. And it's funny that you say freedom because, evidently those women who think that way think, that your marriage is slavery and stuff like that, which it is not the case at all. I mean, it's nothing, no slavery, no oppression or anything. They just, they just got this feeling where now they can totally do what they want. We don't need the man to tell them what to do anymore. But what they don't realize is that, men are doing it for their good. They're guiding these women.
Yeah. And guess what? I'm sitting here listening to you both, and I'm thinking, and of course, applying it to my own marriage. And I'm thinking, what is it that Mr. Boss tells me to do? I'm just trying to figure out, what is it that Mr. Boss tells me to do? Mr. Boss doesn't tell me to do anything. I'm trying to think about what is it that because you just said, we said freedom and they feel like slavery and men tell women what to do. And I'm thinking, what is he telling me to do? I'm trying to think of something that he's telling me to do. And whatever it is, would I see it as a chore, or would I see it as, like you all said, as in guidance? Because I know what to do as an adult woman. So I'm questioning now, what are these women doing in their marriage that their husbands have to tell them what to do? I mean, what go clean up the house? Go wash the dishes? Go vacuum the floor? Come on, y'all. I know that's not what's going on. I know that is not.
Whether I'm making this kind of money, don't tell me nothing.
Exactly.
This is the mindset now. I'm making money. I'm not making you no damn sandwich.
Oh my God.
I'm not what you can make your own damn sandwich. And then you know what it is now? I make as much as you do. The hell I look like making you a sandwich. You gonna make me one, I'm making more than you anyway.
So it also sounds like the money, along with freedom, power, it also brought some sort of attitude. What we want to call this attitude. The demeanor changed. That's the masculine part. I'm no longer soft and cuddly. I'm now hard and combative. Yeah. We're figuring this thing out as we go.
Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Steele, keep on. You got us going. Keep going. What's the next thing?
Well, you've asked, what did men do to cause women to want to for women to have this attitude in the first place? And you know how a group of people get stereotyped for what only a handful of these people do?
Okay.
Well, there were some men, a handful of men, who were quite abusive
Okay.
and things of that nature because they have all this power. And there are some women who think all of us act that way, which we know it's not true. I think that's one of the things that also one of the things that started it.
Okay,
They
so you
think
know that's not
we're
fair. That's not because we
that's
talk
not
about
right.
that. We talk about that a lot because what that is that you are basing your life on others' experience, and
Exactly.
that's not valid. We should never do that. But I think we do live through our mother and grandmother often because of the stories that they do tell, and we may have never suffered or been through any type of trauma, but we're living their trauma.
Mm.
So that could be a huge influence. I see that could be, but that's not real at all.
That is not real. You're right.
Mm,
You're right.
Mm.
wow. Is there anything else?
You know,
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I can't really think of anything else, but as always, I thank you for allowing me up here.
Oh, sure. You're welcome, and thank you for being here. Actually, as always, thank you for your support.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay, so listen. Gosh, y'all, let's do these super chats, and then we're gonna get back to this again because now I'm like wondering now because if we're experiencing other people's trauma and we're coming up with all of this make-believe behaviors and then we get to six figures, it all becomes real to us because we're living a lie for all these many years. So when we get to a certain age, 35, 40, and we realize that we're by ourselves, then this could be very what's the word I'm looking for? Detrimental to us.
Exactly.
Very detrimental.
Exactly.
So let's read this. Dre, hyenas are matriarchal and the lion is patriarchal. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Dre. Let's see here. Marcus, I agree with Black Men Unfiltered. Thank you so much, Marcus, for your $2 super chat. Big Ant says, in the voice of Corey Holcomb, how sugar, what? How sugar be you? What's that?
What?
How
In the
sugar
words
be
of Corey
you?
Holcomb, how sugar boo.
Oh,
I don't know. Let them tell you all you need to know. I don't know. Corey Holcomb be saying some crazy stuff.
I don't like him.
You don't like Corey?
No.
Man, Corey is
You know what?
wicked.
Let me tell you something. Christopher sent me. Thank you, Christopher. Thank you, Big Ant. Christopher sent me a video, I think it was, or either Mr. Gilbert on Corey Holcomb. And Corey apparently has a wife, but he called women all types of B's and H's all the way through the darn
Man.
video. And I'm trying to figure out, okay, like I can't do this conditional femininity. So how can you do this conditional husband? You know what I mean? How is that possible? Are you going home talking to your wife? It just didn't make. I wasn't feeling him. So,
Yeah,
and I don't watch him anyway. So, you know, I guess it was no harm, no foul. But I was just like, can you just tell the story, please, so I can follow? Clement, thank you so much for your $2 super chat. Leave them two gutter rats and who the two? Two gutter rats in the alley cats. Clement be going in. What two gutter rats? You know what? Forget I asked that question because he gonna come up here with some names the next time. I don't want to. Don't do it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Marcus, thank you so much again for your $5 super chat. I'm sorry. This may sound harsh, but women that act masculine, they need to learn the hard way. Oh gosh. Listen, we're gonna be totally honest, right? There was a day where this woman was acting a bit masculine, and I did suggest to Mr. Boss to go hit her in the chest.
Damn!
Okay. I did that.
Wait, hold on. I wasn't ready for that.
True confession time.
Oh,
I confess. I had to ask God to forgive me, but I did. I said, go hit her in the damn chest. I said that. I did. Excuse me.
And walk right over to her. Hallelujah.
And Mr. Boss had to pray over me afterwards because she took me out of my. She made me cuss. And look, she made me cuss, and I told her to go hit her in the chest.
Yeah.
I was so wrong.
What's up, man? You should
I
come
was
up,
so
brother.
wrong that day. I was so wrong.
Oh
Like
my goodness,
Citizen says,
that is hilarious.
black women lose respect to black men for staying at the table. There is no gender war. Thank you. There is black women throwing diversions. Why they can't be normal? It isn't the money. What is it then? What is
Look,
it?
hey, security boss.
Wait a minute.
Oh.
So listen, Polite Citizen says that it's diversions. What are they scared of? I do sometimes see fear. I agree. But what are we afraid of? What are we afraid of?
I have no idea.
Many women in oh Lord. Wait a minute. Okay, Mr. Milner, thank you. Many women, including black women. Oh, I could read it over here, couldn't I? Thank you, Mr. Boss. This is a little bit better. Many women, including black women, have bitten the progressive liberal feminist apple, and they absolutely love it. They do? They love it? Well, I bet you that woman on the street the other day with black man with the tattoo, I bet you she had about 2 or 3 apples. And on that particular day,
come on,
she wasn't feeling it.
come on.
She wasn't feeling it. It's a game changer. Men have to start operating differently. Oh, and insert their authority as men. These women are not going back. Okay, this is good right here. Mr. Milner, how do you all assert your authority as men? How you do that? I need that. See, that's what I'm talking about right there. Now, I done told Mr. Boss to hit the girl in the chest. Now, he didn't need to do that. He did not do that, but I did suggest that. But how do you assert your authority? Black man, how do you do it? Before you do it, though, let's do the money line. Thank you so much for the $20 super chat.
I'ma run it every time. Give me mine. Going up, you know the kind. Money line. I'ma run it every time. Give me mine. Going up, you know the kind.
Yeah.
Dearly beloved.
All right. So I need to know. Oh, but before we do that, Marcus has another super chat here. SB, I didn't know you was gangster on the low. Look, sometimes they get at y'all, they get at me too. They had a whole show last night about Mammy. Black man, did you see that? Oh my God, I ain't gonna talk about it right now. But anyway, we'll talk about it later. Yeah, SB get games only when Mr. Boss is with me. I can't do that when I'm by myself. But this girl was going crazy, y'all. She was just acting out, just being way too much. And she was just such a dude. And I was like, she was even like penis measuring, and she didn't have one. And I was like, okay, look, this is way too much. And so I told Mr. Boss to hit in the chest. Okay, but I'll never do that again. I don't think. It all depends. So it happened though. Hey, Scam.
What's going on? What's going on?
How you doing?
So big, bro.
You know what? You've been so quiet lately. Is that like a sign of the time? Like you got a woman in your closet or something?
Uh-oh.
If so, I wouldn't tell you. But
why you wouldn't tell me? What am I do to her?
No, I just don't put stuff out public.
Oh, you don't?
Not really.
Oh, okay. But you in a new city now, right? A new state. You're in a new city. Have you met some new people?
No, I'm still in Florida.
Oh, I thought you had bought a house and moved.
No, I stay in the garage. I'm poor. I got no money.
Oh, you do have to have some money to buy a house, don't you?
Yeah.
That's true. Whose garage you staying in though?
Yeah, they repoed everything.
Listen, if you have a good woman, she'll stay in the garage with you.
I'm aware.
Okay. So you're trying to keep secrets, black man. Who is this new person? What's going on?
I don't know. And she must be special. He ain't talking about.
No, I'm talking about him.
Oh.
No, I never just put out a bunch of stuff about where I live and all that other stuff.
Well, I told you what you already put out. What I ask you is what you've already said. You would just been completing a statement. That's all. But that's okay.
Oh, well, damn. I didn't know I put that out there.
You didn't know that you were trying to buy the fourplex?
Fourplex?
No, the fourplex, quadplex, duplex. It was one of those plexes. I'm the real estate lady. You don't remember talking to me about this?
Yeah, you did say that. my brother.
Oh, dang. You remember that? That was 2022. Way back in.
Yeah.
What you saying? What you saying? I'm taking offense to that. What you saying? What you saying?
No, I didn't know you remember. That was.
I mean, what's supposed to be wrong with my memory? I mean, I can't remember from like 6 months ago. What you saying?
No, I didn't. I don't even remember it.
I
I
love
don't
it.
remember the conversation. But no, how can I say it?
You don't have to tell us right now. You don't have to talk about that. But go ahead and tell us what you want to add to the conversation. What does money do for a woman, or whatever you want to add, sir? It doesn't matter.
In these spaces, here, I mean, the math doesn't add up.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, so there's a man over there and there's a woman over there. 60-70% of the time, they don't like each other. They don't. That's what created this whole space and all these conversations. One of them doesn't like the other, or both of them don't even like each other, which is the recipe for disaster.
Okay, so slow down for me because I want to talk my way through this. 60 to 70% of them don't like each other, right?
Yeah, like most of the conversations had.
Okay, gotcha.
Doesn't even like the other person.
Okay.
The spaces you hear the from regular panels all the way to the dust panels. The men don't like women. They don't. The women don't like the men. They don't. Then somebody goes to the bank, brings this briefcase full of cash, and says, "Oh, I done got you now." Or the woman goes and gets a high-powered job. "Oh, I'm an attorney." The people don't like each other. It doesn't matter what you do. But then you tell a man who's 28, "Man, these women's out here, man, it's really, go get the bag. Go get some money." He runs back out there with the briefcase full of cash. He's still ugly, or whatever problem he had when he was 28 is still there when he's 38, 48. Then it's these women.
Oh, but wait a minute, though. Wait a minute. I hear some self-improvement. Because you said he was ugly when he was 28, but when he got 38, you said he had the bag.
He's still ugly.
No, but you see, you misunderstanding something. I am a woman. Let me tell you something about a woman. I just think, when you got the bag, you can be ugly. Just in case you didn't know.
Okay.
I'm just being honest.
He's ugly with the bag.
You can be ugly with the bag. Because guess what? God made you, right? You can only do what you can do with what you got. So as long as it's shaped up, cleaned up, the best it can be, it may still be ugly, but you got the bag now. And if you got half a sense, you might be a good one. So I'm just telling you, women will go for an ugly man with a bag.
So now he's ugly with the bag. And 6 months later, he's on the dust panel. The women's.
Wait a minute. He on the dust panel with a bag?
Yeah. People on dust panels aren't, a lot of them aren't poor.
Okay.
They have money.
I didn't say poor now. Well, we got to go all the way there. Okay.
No, meaning we talk about relationships. We don't talk about emotional intelligence. We don't talk about communication. We don't talk about love, connection.
Okay.
Even liking each other. And the money's going to fix it all. Now you got two people with money that don't like each other. Who wins? The attorneys.
Hey, Dusto, did you hear what Security Boss said at the beginning of the show?
I wasn't here.
Oh, she said that there was a woman who got married. The man and the woman, they probably married about 10 years, probably. She got a degree. He supported her. And she went back for a second degree. He supported it. And then when she got offered a job making 6 figures a year. And after she got the job making 6 figures a year, she went to her husband and said, "Okay, I don't want to be with you anymore. I want a divorce."
Okay.
After he paid for her degrees, after he paid for her to go to college and supported everything that she wanted to do, he was a great man. Now, fast forward, now she has cancer. She had to get a full hysterectomy. The ex-husband is married and moved on with another woman, had a kid. She's calling him now to come take care of her while she got cancer.
Okay.
What would you say to that man? Would he be a victim?
Yeah, he's a victim.
Why so? He did everything he's supposed to do. Work, take care of his wife, provide everything she needed.
Who said anything about, because everything is always just protect and provide.
No. I'm saying she had remember you said sit down with your woman and find out where she wants to go. She sat down and said, "Baby, I want to do this with my life." He said, "I will support you any way I can." And he did that. And he made sure she had everything she needed.
They had a plan.
Okay.
They had a plan for their marriage.
Okay. Because I'm aware that every man,
Mhm.
all of them, just like there's panels, you don't even want to hear what they do. There's dust and supercrust panel. But all these men, they're doing the best that they can, and they love women so much.
No. Hold on,
Let's
not them.
go
I'm talking
and
about this
honor women.
specific. I'm talking about this specific story right here, where the man took care of her and gave her everything she needed, did everything her husband was supposed to do, and she admits this because now she has cancer, and she's calling him saying, "I messed up. I shouldn't have never left you. Now, can you come and take care of me because I got cancer and I need somebody to take care of me. I don't have no man." And the man that she was with, that she ended up with, he left her. He said he couldn't do it no more, dealing with her cancer and all that.
Yeah, sounds like two things. Number one, she didn't like him. That's why she left to begin with. She didn't want to be there, so she left. Now she wants to live. When you want to live in a survival time, yeah, somebody with a bag looks attractive, but it's only for survival. She don't want that man. That's why she left. That other man don't want her is why he left. Now we can pretend, we can put the protect and provide in the bag, and you can fake and fudge up the marriage like they did 50 years ago. But the people don't like each other. That's why it fell apart.
Okay, so let me ask a question. Wait a minute, let me ask this quick question.
Go ahead.
Well, let me say hello to Prototype first.
Prototype, what's up, man?
How are you, sir?
Hey, guys.
Now let me get back. Okay, so Dusto, let me ask this question.
Mhm.
Is not liking a person and not wanting to be with a person the same thing for you?
If you don't like somebody, you're probably not going to want to be with them. That's fairly correct.
Ooh, that happens in marriage, though. Sometimes I don't like my wife, but I still love and want to be with her.
You said sometimes. Overall,
sometimes like, damn, I don't like you today. I love you, baby.
I'm talking permanent, not temporary.
Okay.
Everybody can have a bad Tuesday.
Okay.
I'm just wondering how do you determine when you don't like them in marriage? Because they never said that. What she said she didn't like about her husband was the fact that she was now six-figure and he wasn't on her level. So when you say don't like, I'm just trying to get a handle on what is don't like. What was there not to like? She just didn't want him at that particular time.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right.
I mean, she didn't want him before, but now she has the option to leave.
So so you think she didn't want him for the 10 years or whatever they were together? You don't think she wanted him the whole time?
No,
really?
This is what I know. She made a decision to get up and leave.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very strong decision to make. So something was so strong that she did not want to be there, and she left.
But she only did it she didn't do it until she made the six figures.
Okay.
Right.
So however strong it was, she stayed her ass there until she had enough money to go. Is that what you're saying? That's how it looks.
Until she acquired everything she could from him.
Right.
Okay. So what is it that we're saying? Because security boss, you make good money, right?
Yeah.
Are you leaving your husband did you reach a dollar amount and then just walk out the front door?
No,
Or are you sticking with your man?
I'm staying with my man.
Does it have anything to do with money? Or why are you staying with your man?
Well, but see, me and my man put money together.
Uh-oh. There it is.
Still, are you leaving your man because of money?
Mm-mm.
When money was looking funny, did you leave your man?
No.
Did you want that man?
Yeah.
Do you like that man?
Yeah. Not all the time, though.
Right.
I don't say all the time, but you like him enough.
That's the point I'm making, though. But so if one day I get up and I say I don't like you, I leave. I mean, I might like him again at the end of the year.
And they married. This was a married couple.
Yeah, it's a little.
Yeah, married people. A lot of people walk out the front door and don't come back.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But when we say don't like, it's just weird to hear don't like. I mean, that's why I do always say I still like my husband 28 years later. So it is a thing. But I'm just trying to, get my head wrapped around what you're saying as far as she just didn't like him and she left.
Is money was not the reason that she left. That's my point. She didn't want to be with the man. Just like you, money didn't make you leave. You decided to stay. My parents, there's money. It went up and down. They didn't leave. My sister and her husband. Nothing to do with money. They picked those men and they said, this is the man we're rocking with, and they stayed. Then there's some other people. A lot of them have money. A lot of them money funny. A lot of them, whatever. They don't want to be there. They leave.
I might need to tell you the rest of the story. I might need to tell you the rest of the story. The rest of the story is she says that she messed up. She realizes he's an outstanding man and good husband.
If you were dying of cancer, even if he had 6 teeth, wouldn't he all of a sudden be very good looking and handsome and the best?
But she can't have him because he's remarried with a whole nother family. She can't have him.
If she could be added to the health insurance as the dog. If you got cancer and you're gonna die, aren't you gonna tell him he's the sweetest, best thing that ever happened in your life to live?
No, listen though. Okay, we're not gonna get into this too much. But she wasn't talking to him. She was talking to her friend about him. I don't know what she said to him.
You're talking about somebody who wants to live. They'll tell you anything to live.
But you're missing my point. She was telling her bestie. It's like you and black men talking about a third person. I don't know if she told him that.
Right. She was telling her friend that. She was expressing
her friend. Her friend is the one who told the story.
Right.
So I don't know if she told him that. And I would think that she probably didn't, because she also said, but guess what? He's married now and they have children. The whole plan was for her to go to school, get the master's, have some babies. She went to school, got the master's, got the 6-figure job.
And she chunked the deuces.
Changed her mind about her part, went out and started living her life, like you said.
With another dude.
Yeah, I don't agree with the decision, but I don't know what's going on over there. All I know is she didn't want to be there and she left.
Correct.
But I can't sit here and tell you, well, these women's. I don't know what's happening in that house. But in 1950, whatever, they talk about these perfect marriages where the men had 100% say so. Soon as in the 60s, when feminism came out, they left and a lot of them never came back.
Okay, who talks about perfect marriage? I've never heard that before. Who talked about a perfect marriage? Where they get that from?
I'm just talking about in general.
Oh, okay. I never heard that before.
Everything was so perfect and the men had everything laid out and decked out. Why did the women leave in the first place and why didn't they come back?
Well, are you asking about the feminist movement? Why did that happen?
Is
that really why you asking?
Can I say something on that too?
Well, you guess what though? Guess what? Dusto, you answer that question. Then we're gonna go over to Prototype, and then Black Man, you can come in too. But Dusto, you answer that question. Why did they leave?
Obviously, it means them houses weren't so perfect.
But my question is this, because you do say that a lot, big bro, that all these perfect marriages back in the day. When my grandmother talked about her 63-year marriage, she said me and your granddaddy went through hell. I mean, she admits it. We went through hell, some hard times. I mean, it got really bad. Sometimes we didn't know when we was going to eat. We didn't know if we was going to have a house to stay in. She said it was bad. And so a lot of those marriages back then that lasted 50, 60 years, they'll tell you, there ain't no such thing as no perfect marriage. What are y'all talking about? I can call my grandma right now, baby, perfect. Well, she said, my grandmother used to say, if anybody tell you they got a perfect marriage, they lying to you.
And not only that, you had the woman might have been cheating, had another baby outside of them, and the husband might have been cheating, had a whole family down the street. None of it was perfect. They still stayed married. They still stayed married. So, I mean, if you're saying that you can use any old reason to get out of a marriage, I'm totally in agreement with you. But,
money moves you right. Money moves you.
What I'm saying is this, and I'm all for, if you can fight and work your marriage out. Most of my family, every marriage has been tested. Let's be real.
Right.
People in my family kept their man. Most of the women kept the man.
My family too.
These men didn't have these horrible gloom stories of the kids all out in the street and beaten and drunk. They didn't have them stories either. But a lot of other
hold on. The man that say that again.
Okay.
The man didn't do what in the streets?
Okay.
I didn't hear you.
There are men who were part of the gloom and doomsters, beating, cheating, skeeting, and bottle busting, all the stuff that they said. I wasn't there. Then there's men who actually handle business. A lot of the men in my family handled business and they kept their women. A lot of the other ones, the women opted out and they never came back.
Wasn't no women leaving back then, though.
Huh?
Wasn't no women leaving back then. They
couldn't. Once they got the opportunity to leave, they left and they didn't come back. Which means, if everything was so great, why didn't the marriage rate go from 80% to 85 to 90 to 95? Because they're producing this great family environment for everyone. like people keep saying we had. There was a community to hold us accountable.
Exactly.
That community, right? That accountable community fell down to 20 and 30% marriages. So accountable to what? That's not true.
No, that what you're saying is not true. And then Miss Dominique is saying too that they didn't have the option to divorce. I don't know how far back y'all going.
Right.
I have no clue. We need to get a handle on it. But how there, once they had the rights to vote, then there's always an option to leave. It's just that back in the day, a little back, women and men, they knew that marriage was more than just being happy. They actually fought for their children that they had. And they fought for having a family because it was more important to have all their children
together
that were together and under one roof. And if dad was there, which we didn't have a lot of single mother households, because even back then, if a woman had a child and she was a single woman, typically somebody married her shortly after, and then they went on to have more children. It's just that the family was more important then. The community was more important then. And the community is what he's talking about, which you was accountable to. Because if you got out of line in your community, then everybody on that block told your mom and daddy what you were doing wrong. Exactly. It was no getting away. That's what he's talking about, accountable. So there was not a, it wasn't a whole lot of this craziness going on as it is now. So that kind of answers that question, but I don't know how far back you went. I don't know how far back you're going. Back then also, women and men, they needed each other. Women realized that the role of a husband, what role he played in taking care of his sons and daughters. Also, even back then was more so different because men, they provided provision, and a lot of them thought that was all they were supposed to do, is provide provision. So where we are now is totally different, far as the husbands playing a larger role other than providing provision. So there's a lot of different things that are going on now that were not going on then. But you have to want to be married, and you can break up a marriage for any old reason. I hear a lot of times people are saying that they're not happy. That is not a valid reason to leave a marriage, but people do what they want to do. Because guess what? There are going to be times where you are not happy as a single person. And who do you leave at that point?
If somebody's not happy, there's probably a reason for it.
But so you thinking that relationship should be based on happiness, a temporary emotion?
I didn't say temporary happiness.
Happiness is temporary, no matter where it is. If I'm married to my wife right now, and I go tell everybody, scam, me and my wife are happily married. We happy. No, that's temporary, because today I'm happy with her, but tomorrow she may piss me off. And now my emotions didn't change. Now I'm not no longer happy. I'm pissed off at her. Then the next day we may go through something where we're sad. The marriage go through ebbs and flows. Happy, sad, upset, angry, happy, sad, upset, angry. I'm telling you, from a man that's been married for 14 years. Same
Not
thing.
only that, you could get upset.
I'm talking about temporary. I'm talking about
permanent unhappiness. That means something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you if that's the case. Not you, but there's something wrong with that individual, because we're not supposed to look for the other individual to make us happy. If we have to figure out why am I unhappy? Is that Anissa? No.
What's up, girl?
I see your teeth.
We ain't back in the crowd. Wait a minute, girl.
You see your teeth.
Good to see you, girls. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Anissa. But Dusto, yeah,
that wasn't what I was referring to.
Oh, what are you referring to? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay.
I thought you said happiness.
Okay. And I'll go back to just traditional mindset, because I had these conversations with my parents and conversations within this last week. You were taught one thing that is a positive from back in the day. Wives were taught to be wives and husbands were taught to be husbands, as far as duties and structure. That is true.
That's true.
The environment was different, but women leaving their husbands was shamed upon, to the point where they would sit and take other levels of abuse. There were no sexual harassment laws. I didn't even know about that till I was in my growing up.
Right.
No
you couldn't.
Domestic violence.
That came with the feminist movement.
Right. Without the feminist movement, are you really going to go work in the plant and make $46,000 and support yourself?
No,
a lot of it, they were there for survival. And they
Right.
also
No, I'm
want
saying,
compromise.
I'm just saying the different ways of the feminist movement, because they used to say things like husbands have raped their wives, and that was overlooked. Abuse, like you're saying, all of that came up to play during those times because it
Mhm.
was a husband felt like his wife was more so his property and he could do things, whatever he wanted to do with them. But I don't know the ratio and numbers of how
That's
many,
fair.
how did, did this happen in the black community? Because I knew it happened in the white community because they was
All
the ones who
communities.
started it. But I don't know if was a big problem that we had in our own community. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
because a lot of
It's men versus women. It's all communities.
yeah, it's all. But like I said, going back to that tradition, I'll say this, and because we got to get a listen here. She cammed up today. We got to get her over here quick. But anyway, so I just want to say, like, even with those relationships back in the day, we talk about the extremes, but we definitely need to talk about the good ones as well. And I think the majority of them were not bad. I think that some of them had men who were abusive. Some of them had situations where they couldn't leave. But the thing that we keep making a mistake about is saying that the women stayed home. I have not seen that.
I never said that.
No, I ain't say you said. I'm saying overall in a general sense. They keep saying that the men were out working while the women. No. These women were out as well with side gigs, bringing change to the house. So they were working to. I think the difference between now and then, it didn't matter what the man made. It didn't matter what the woman made because they brought it together and they did what they had to do for their families. And
But
I
they
think.
have a choice.
What do you mean? If you're married, you have committed yourself to be their sickness and in health, through richer or for poor, ups and downs, right? So you made a commitment to be with this person through all of these ebbs and flows, and that commitment should stand. If that man's not kicking you and beating you upside your head, that commitment stands, right?
So hold on for a minute, Black man. Let's talk to Anissa here. But Dusto, I want you to tell us what's your point, because I'm not understanding quite what your point is, because anybody can decide to be out of a marriage. So you're exactly right. But I want you to hold on to that thought because I want to hear what Anissa has to say.
Okay.
Well, good evening.
Hello.
Hello. I understand exactly what Dusto is saying. My question was going to be,
Okay, well, you got to help me out then. Help me out because I'm trying to figure out where we're going. I know what we're talking about. I understand what we're saying as far as the context of it, but I'm like, how are we applying that to now? That's all. But he gonna tell me. But go ahead, Anissa.
my question was going to be, I think about my grandparents, my dad's parents. They were married for 70 years before my grandfather passed and then my grandmother passed. And my parents came along in the 40s. So why do you think our mothers and fathers and our grandmothers and grandfathers pushed us, today's women, to go to college and to get the education and to get all of that? If that family life and if having that man and having that marriage was so wonderful, I think the majority of women today, none of us were told, you know what, you need to get married, you need to get that man. We were taught, a lot of us, that you need to go to school, you need to get your education so you can do well, so you can have your own money and, and so forth and so on. So, like Dusto was saying, if it was so wonderful back during that time, we as women, if I'm a teenager, I don't know, where this teaching or where these thoughts come from, but I just know this is what my parents are telling me, and I respect my parents, and so I live under their roof. I'm probably going to do what they say, and if you're listening to your grandmother or your grandfather who you respect and love, and this is what they say, why do you think they said that if everything was so lovely during those times?
Can I answer first?
Let me take one part and then you take the next part.
Okay.
Anissa, when we say lovely, I'm not sure what that parameter is and what that looks like. But let me tell you this. I don't know if I'm older than you or not, but I'm going to base it on myself. Even though our parents said, get your education, go to college or what have you, they never said, don't be a wife. They never lacked teaching you how to cook and clean and manage your home. The mindset is what's changed. You could do a whole lot of things and still remain a wife. I do it. So the fact that that the mindset has changed in the feminist movement and the influence of the liberal colleges. And another thing, our parents, now I'm from the South, so my parents, they didn't know all the things that went on in a that go on in a liberal college, right? So the message that we know now, or the message that is being taught now, is very liberal and negative towards the background that I grew up in, which would have been a Christian background. Now, if you didn't grow up in a Christian background, then that would just answer it. Or if you grew up in the North or in a larger city, that may be the reason too. But going back real quick, even though your parents told you to go to college and get your education, have money, make your own money, or what have you, they did not tell you not to be a woman or a lady or a wife. Back then, in my day, all they taught was women being ladies. You had to wear foundations. Right now, people act like they don't know anything about it. So in other words, I think some things we were supposed to pick up on or learn by example. Other things we were supposed to just learn. But when we have these different influences coming in that are negative, that are going against it, then it gets to be your choice and whatever you decide to do. But go ahead, Black man.
I was just going to say, in some of those cases, those parents who grew up working in the fields, working the turn row, right? I'm from the South, so I know the terms. Working the turn rows every morning, right? Granddaddy would get up first. Grandma would cook the breakfast. I'm telling you from what I've heard my grandparents say. And they were married for 63 years before he passed away. My grandmother's still alive. She said I used to work the turn row every day. She'd have a bag on her shoulder. He'd pick, put it in there, right? Then you have children, and then the world starts to shift. And now kids can go to college and kids can get better opportunities. So in some of those cases, those parents wanted those kids to do something that they didn't have the opportunity to do. That's that. So I couldn't go to college. That granddaddy can go to college. Your granddaddy got a 3rd grade education. I got a 9th grade education, right? We weren't able to go to school some days. We had to go again. This is what my grandmother said. Some days we couldn't go to school because we had to go pick cotton, period. And so now when your kids get older, hey, baby, go get whatever you can get. Get it. Grab everything. Do it. Get it. Get it. Men and women, go get it. Right? Because I didn't get a chance to go to college. I didn't experience anything that you guys are free to do now. So go do it. I think that's that's why they were pushing that. Some of them were pushing that narrative. Go get, because they weren't able to do it.
And to add to that, even my mom didn't like men, but she never told me not to get married.
Security boss. I gotta say that Black man just prayed. Just now, he put the beautiful story of the two people who loved each other and worked it out. But then all the other times, it's a gloom doom marriage that happened in Arizona, where the man then did this, just like you just gave. The woman didn't like the man.
My mom didn't like men.
Right. Where's the consistency?
But she never. You're not going. What you mean consistency? It's not going to be in that different people. Different situations, different lives. But even though, this is what I'm saying though, even though she didn't like men, talked against men because of her own experiences, right? She still stayed married for life until death. Also, she still taught me how to be a wife. She still taught me how to clean, everything, cook, all of that. I still knew all those things, but she also said, you go to school, go to college. That's a good idea. Never talked against it either. So I had to make a choice on what I wanted to do. And what is happening now is women are making choices due to the innovation and all the opportunities that we have and all the things that the incentivizing that the government does and all these opportunities that we have. And we're not choosing, and it's just gone left. We're not choosing the men anymore. But I don't know. I haven't seen or heard any woman tell me that her parents told her, that her mom told her, well, not to get married growing up. Anissa, did your parents tell you not to get married?
No, you muted, sweetheart. You muted. There you go.
No, they never told me not to get married, but both of my parents did tell me that they wanted me to go to school, what they wanted me to focus on in school, so that I could be independent and have my own money, so that I would not have to necessarily be dependent upon another person. Both of my parents did teach me that. And both of my parents went to college and they were both professionals. And they did teach me that. And I think a lot of women are taught that.
So what kind of woman was your mother? Was she a wife or was
Yes,
she
she was. She
independent?
was a wife, an excellent
There you go.
wife, and homemaker. Yeah. But
See,
she
she-
also,
That's the
But-
point.
but
That's
I
the point I'm trying to
think-
make. You have to make a decision on what you want to do.
Yeah, I do, but I think if you look at your grandparents and your parents, I mean, I don't think all of them would say this, but probably some of them would say if they had the independence and if they could have had the choice to remove themselves from some of the situations they were in, they probably would have. A lot of them didn't feel like they could. So they may have stayed in situations that if they could have gotten themselves out of, they definitely would have. You understand what I'm saying?
And that's definitely true.
Yeah. So they may not have stayed so much for duty and community. Some of those women stayed because they felt like they couldn't go. Where were they going to go? Where were you going to go in the 30s and you had 5 kids and you weren't going to be able to take care of yourself and 5 kids on your own. So a lot of women had to stay in situations because they did not have the financial ability to take care of themselves. And that's just not the case anymore. I'm not saying that's the majority of women, but you cannot say that was not a reason.
Can I ask you a question, Mr. Glass? Can I ask you a
Oh,
question?
Anissa, read the back chat for us really quick and mute yourself out. Read the back chat when you get a chance. Go ahead, Pac-Man.
Yeah, my question to her would be, remember one time Security Boss a long time ago, I think it was last year sometime maybe, we broke down the vows that people say to each other when they get married.
Yeah.
And I think that people take those vows, but they don't take them seriously. Because if I sit in front of a woman and I said, I vow to love you through good times, bad times, sickness and in health, that means in the middle of our marriage and you get cancer and you can't walk no more, I'm your caretaker. Right? All right, through sickness and in health, through rich or for poor. That means if we go bankrupt tomorrow, baby, you still got me. We're going to build this thing back together again. Right? All these things, good times, bad times, that covers a multitude of things. Right? When we say those things, I'm trying to figure out why so many people revert back to the saying of, well, some people just want to get out their marriages, but just couldn't get out of it. Why would you want to get out of it if you're not getting your ass beat? If you're going to go through bad situations, you're going to go through times where you're not going to like each other. You're going to go through times where it's going to be rough. Your husband's going to be angry. Sometimes you're going to be angry, right? But other than you getting your ass beat, what other reason would you leave when you've taken a vow to say, no matter what? Those vows are basically overall are saying, no matter what, I'm going to be right here by your side.
That's a rigged question, though.
So hold on for a minute. Let's get
It's
Trey
not rigged.
involved in this. Go ahead, Trey.
It's not a rigged question. It's a great question. The truth of the matter is that they never meant it from the beginning.
Exactly.
They never meant it. It was a joke. A lot of these women and men, for that matter, who are in these marriages, they don't mean the words that are coming out of their mouth. They don't mean it. And this is what's irritating about the marriages these days, is because that's not what it's built on. Your word is supposed to be your bond. You're supposed to be making this covenant with God, correct? That's how this is supposed to go, right?
Right.
Which means that the things that are coming out of your mouth, that's it. It's in stone. It's done.
Exactly.
It's done. But we have people, men and women, who are going and standing before a pastor in a church, making these so-called covenants with God, and they don't believe any of it. It's a joke. It's a joke to them. And a lot of the reason is because a lot of them know they can get out of it. Well, I don't really have to say it, because if I really don't want to be with her, if I really don't want to be with him, I can get out of it. I can just go down to the courthouse. I can file the paperwork, and I'm out of it. No harm, no foul.
Yeah, you don't see the problem.
Hold on, Trey. Watch this. Watch this, Dusto. That's why so many marriages today, I've seen a couple of weddings, I just laugh. Right? You know why? Because when they get up to the altar and they don't make a commitment to God no more, they make a commitment to each other, making up their own vows. Mm-hmm. Honey, I love you. I'll always love the jacket. I'll always love the way that you blink your eyes at me. And the reason that they don't commit to the traditional vows is because they know when they get to a certain point, I'm out. I ain't make no commitment to be here for no sickness and the health. I ain't say them words. So it's easy for me to get out of it if I don't say it. If I don't commit that, I don't say it. So my thing is, if you believe in God, if you believe that God is God, and you take in that covenant, because the Bible says the marriage is a covenant to him. If you believe in God, you should take that serious. Because think about it, God don't leave you. You out here, people out here being hoes, prostitutes, dudes out here doing what they doing, even people in jail for deleting people. God hadn't left them. He still loves them in spite of, because he made a commitment to love you no matter what. You tell me one place in the book that it says God gonna hate you at any point. He loves you in spite of you.
Black man, you talking about you talking about double thinking now. You're saying that what I do applies to my life. That you know, what I do is direct towards God. They don't think like that. You got it all wrong. Meaning I can do what I want and God's still gonna be okay with me because now we have Jesus. Don't forget.
Right.
Because listen, going back to Trey, I do think that people get married and most of them, if you're going to do that, most of them, not all, they have the intentions on being married. And I think they do take it sincerely, but I just don't think they understand how deep it could be. I think a lot of times they have no idea how much they have to endure. Because even now I hear it. Even now when I make statements, it's like, if something happened to Mr. Boss and he lost it, you know, I would see him through that. I wouldn't just get a divorce. People say, no, you better go. You better run away. I'm thinking, but me signing a piece of paper that says I'm divorced, it's not divorcing me from that man. I mean, maybe, you know, by law or whatever, you know, but that doesn't end anything. That's still my husband. That's the same thing that this man went through that we started with. The woman divorced him, he went on and got another wife and had kids. But when she called him, he still went back because that was still his wife. You know, the reality of it is they were both adulterous because she was still living and he was still living and he went and got another wife. So that first woman was still his wife. But my point I'm trying to make, I just don't think people know how deep it could actually go or how sincere it needs to be. But I think they all have good intentions. But remember, people are just people. I mean, we think that these are a different set of people that got married years back that are now. I don't think they're different people. I just think we're in a different time. I mean, you had selfish people back then. You had 304s back then. You had homongers and whores back then. You had all that stuff. You know, people who steal and money launderers, people who gamble. All that stuff was the same as you have now. So whatever reason you would want to get out of a marriage now because you're not happy would be the same back then too. You know, it's the same thing. Now I do know that some people have put in here, now they're going way back where women have had 10 children and 13 children and things of that nature. And, you know, they couldn't leave because they couldn't afford to have those kids. But guess what? We also know around the 1960s, we had all types of welfare that would take care of every kid you got. And if you got 10, then yeah, you would have been taken care of.
I'm a little bit confused.
Yes, it would have been. If it would have been bad enough for you, if the situation would have been bad for you and the disrespect would have been enough, you would have opted to take your 10 kids and go get that check. Absolutely, you would. You absolutely would.
But it's still a death sentence. Ain't nobody want to live in the projects. Come on now.
Listen.
No.
Okay, so wait a minute. You're speaking as though, and y'all got to help me.
Okay, I got you.
Back in my day, we all was poor. We didn't know it.
Yeah.
So what do you mean? What exactly are you talking about, Gusto?
Everybody poor now. They poor now.
But that's my point. That's my point because I'm seeing in the comment section they're like, oh, they were oppressed, they were poor, they were. Guess what? Yeah, they were. But guess what? What's going on now? What's going on? What kind of money did you? My grandparents, my granddaddy worked. He took care of my grandmother, and you know all of that. They were good. I never seen them do anything off, right? But they didn't have a lot of money. But if someone said that if you could say that they were the type of persons or people that live well because they did have jobs, they did have cars, they did have a house. You get what I'm saying? But it was what, an 800, 900 square foot house, right? But that was still poor. You know, rent was $200 or $150. You know, so I think my granddad treated my grandma pretty good though. But anyway, they had several kids. But moving on, I'm saying when we're talking about being oppressed, they still don't have any money. What are we talking about right now? That part I don't understand because Black folks have never had a lot of money until the Gen X's came about. And that was what, what year was that, black man? The Gen X's started in what?
Late 80s or early 80s, maybe?
No, they were born in 60, was it 66?
No, I'm talking as far as the money.
Oh, no, I was just saying, when did the Gen X group come?
Okay.
Because the Gen X's were the
70s.
first
late
group
50s, early 60s.
68.
There you go, Trey.
The Gen X's was the first group of people that actually had money. We actually saw money. We were the first group. Even the boomers went through stuff. Y'all got to know that. The Gen X's were the first ones. That's why our children are so entitled, because we actually had money to give back. We actually had money to buy the big houses or whatever it was. We had money to give you cars, stuff like that. That's when that happened. So before that, we all was struggling.
We still
we didn't
struggle.
know it. I mean, but you know what I'm saying.
I mean, if you go to most cities, most black people are living below the poverty line.
That's not true.
Still struggling.
24%. That's not true.
Man.
Most people are middle class, and
You know
most
what I
black
find
people live
funny
in the
about
suburbs.
Scam loves stats when it's to his advantage. But if you give Scam stats, he don't like them.
All right, Trey, they're poor and they're starving to death. That's what you want to hear. Most
I
black
can
people
tell
are
you from
middle
what I
class, and
see.
more of them
I
live
know
in the
here in
suburbs than the inner
DC,
city.
there's a lot of people who are claiming to live above the poverty line, and they are not.
Yeah.
They are living below it.
The poverty line now is what, $40,000. Do y'all know that, don't you? You have to make over $40,000 as a family. Are you, huh?
If you're talking net worth, yes, they ain't got nothing. But if you're talking about income and standards of living, it's like 24% that are living below the poverty line.
In what city is that?
Taking on a bunch of debt does not
US.
make you put you above the poverty line.
Yeah, because in Dallas,
That's
ooh, I
insane.
could take you to some places and make you cry, boy. I ain't lying to you.
I've been to Dallas, and
US.
most people live in the suburbs, black people.
No,
Okay,
some of them do, but I'm talking about the poverty. You went to that neighborhood. I'm talking about, I can show you a neighborhood that you be like, damn, I don't know anything people live like. Do you look at the house and be like, that house should be condemned? And
But
people
listen,
not ever going to work.
y'all know y'all got zero income to low income, and I think low income is considered under 38,000. So there are you just though you're saying under 38,000 yearly is 24% of families in the U.S.
I'm saying most black people are not living below the poverty line. That's not true.
But the number is anything under $38,000 is considered poverty. So how many women out here who are single, raising children on their own, or in a situation where they're making $34,000 or $28,000? That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people.
I put the statistic in
because according to the earlier
I'm
not going to do that.
Make about $971 a week.
I'm not going to derail.
Which equals out to be about $50,000 a year, and that's before taxes.
You know what?
Like where's this so-called money? I'm trying to figure out where's all this money coming from.
Trey, you are correct. Most of them, they're 300 pounds each, but they didn't eat. They are starving to death. You're correct. They're all poor.
Food stamps. What the fuck?
Listen, if you're low income, you know you can get government assistance. If you're low income, you can get government assistance. So in other words, you can make up to about $38,000 and still get benefits. Exactly. So you can do that. There are some households, if you really want to know how to trick the system, there are some households out here that make $100,000 that are on the system, living in nice apartments.
Come on.
And getting everything.
I'm telling you.
Living and everything else. And what they do about every 3 years when it comes time to reevaluate, one or the other quit their job. Yep. So they know what to do. So I don't know about the percentage of it being 24% of individuals in the United States. I don't know that number, but you got to make at least 40,000 not to be considered low income. So let me get what Anissa here. Anissa, can you hear us?
I hear you.
Okay. So anyway, we're going to go back. Go ahead and add to whatever you needed to say, because I happen to think we were all poor back then. Mm-hmm. And we all kind of needed each other. So where was we going to go? But you helped me out. Oh, Money Muse says no. No what? No, SB. Tell me no what? Tell me what no to what? I need to know, because I got some paperwork up here that says a little different. If you make 38,000 or less, you are considered low income.
That's right. You got your own business where you do payroll and you have to do that kind of stuff. So you already know what it is.
And I ain't gonna tell you what else I do. But anyway, yeah, and there are certain people that get benefits, and you just can't individually. You can't make over $38,000. So that is considered low income. So if you got who was that? Money Muse, if you got something else for me, let me know, because again, like I said, I just happen to think back then we were all poor and it didn't really matter. We did what we did. And once time came, and like Anissa said, well, no, was it you, Anissa? You said your dad and mom both went to college, and it's just like my husband's grandparents. One was his grandmother was a nurse, and his granddaddy was a professor. They bought their house in like 1930, so they were considered having money, but the house was only $29,000 back then. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying that we all just, gas was what, 50 cents. It was just a different time. So none of us had money. But if y'all know different, then I'm up and willing to listen to it. I just think we're talking two different.
But you know what, Security Boss? We were poor, but you know what happened? The kids, like when we were real little, we didn't even know it because our mother managed it so well.
Yeah.
My grandmother managed it so well that you thought that you was on top of the world.
You right? Didn't know. We didn't know.
Nah, I knew.
Well, I'm older than you. I didn't know.
Everybody else was going to Foot Locker and we were going to Payless. I knew.
Okay. See, no. Okay, see, I'm older than you are. By that time, I didn't get my
first pair of Nikes until my freshman year in high school.
Okay, so yes, that's a difference. We didn't know. We couldn't even. We owned a house. That my dad worked only one job his whole entire life. My mom worked two different jobs. I mean, so it's always been that way, but we've never had a lot of money, but it was okay. They learned and lived within their means. Was their marriages perfect? Absolutely not. Mm-hmm. But they stayed within their marriages and did what they had to do. But along the way, the mothers and the grandmothers taught the young women how to be wives, how to clean a house, how to wash clothes, how to manage a home, pay bills and things of that nature. And whether she got married or not, that was something that she could take with her. But they also said, go to college, get money and all of that. But it never was disrespect a man. That never came out.
It was in my house.
Disrespect a man?
In my house.
That never came out. Not in my house.
My grandmothers and great aunts told my mother and my sisters and my cousins to go to college, get degrees, so that you never, ever have to depend on a man. You don't need a man. You don't need a man in your life. And mind you, a few of them have been married and were divorced. But the message was always get your own money so that you never have to ever rely on a man to do anything for you. That was always the message. And vice versa, it was the same thing for me. That's why I told you guys, I started doing my laundry at 8 years old. Do everything.
So you weren't supposed to need a woman.
You never ever put yourself in a position where you have to rely on a woman for anything.
So what was their idea about having kids? How were y'all supposed to have kids?
They never talked about it. My mother never had a conversation with me about sex at all. Ever. Never. I kind of learned on my own. Like I had sex for the first time at 14. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just
so they never wanted. She never wanted grandbabies and never talked about that.
No, never.
That's different.
When I told her she was going to be a grandmother, she was very excited and very happy. But we never had those conversations.
Oh, that's different. That is maybe it's not different, but you're younger. But that sounds different. That's different because for us it was just you were going to get married. Even though my mom didn't care for men, you could just tell. But we were going to get married and we was going to have grandbabies, and everybody was going to be happy, like, about the grandbabies and stuff like that. You can go have a lot of them, but you know what I'm saying? It was like just understood.
Like the women in my family, they never saw healthy marriages. None of the elders were married.
Wow.
And that's what I was going to say to you about, like, you could tell the women all you want, they can go get married. But the influence says something else. If all they see is people who aren't married in their family, that's their immediate influence, and that's what they're going to see. I only have one cousin who's married. She was with her man for 10 years before they got married. They have what appears to be, I don't know the inner workings of their marriage, but what appears to be a very good and healthy marriage. But that's the only one. Everybody else in the family, none of us are married because we never saw it.
And then that would be what happened to the Black community. But go ahead, Dusto.
A question, because all the men were all handling business. They were all high value or doing everything by the Bible in the 40s and 50s.
Who said that? Security Boss just said the men weren't perfect.
Okay, my question is, where did your mom come up with this hatred towards men then? Because it's
Oh,
always
because
the men
my
were
dad.
doing good. It's never men's fault.
Because the no, it was because the relationship she had with my dad.
Mhm.
It was their relationship. She wanted more. She wanted more from him than provision. She wanted him to. She wanted him to make her happy.
Cool.
That's as simple as that. He
And you know what's funny
provided.
about?
He provided. My mom didn't even drive. My dad drove her everywhere she needed to drive until she was 40 years old. So he took care of her per se. You know what I mean? But she wanted to be happy. So in relationship, he wasn't good. But as a husband and a father, per se, you know, he did whatever it is he was supposed to. All that they knew to do. You know, they were groomed to go to work, take care of your kids and your home. And that's what they were supposed to do. And that's what they did.
So that's all they're supposed to do is just show up, protect, and provide. And
Wait a minute now, listen, I'm talking about in their day. In their day. That was the message that husbands.
I want to ask
I'm
Dusty a
saying
question.
that's the problem right there.
Hold on, you said
It was definitely a problem. Definitely. I'm agreeing with you on that.
We're on the same page. Cool.
I got a question
that was
for
a
you,
problem.
Dusty. So when you say to protect and provide, like
I
when
never
you-
say that.
No. I'm saying no. I'm not saying you say it. I'm saying you. It's like you say, you know, protect and provide. It's you know, like it's a like you be
You're
very
mocking it.
facetious about it, mocking it,
Pretty
right?
much. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So my thing is this though. In that time, and even in my home, it is important to me as a man to know that my daughter in there, she knows if something happens, my father is going to protect me. If my sons know if they run into a situation, daddy is on the way. My wife knows if she gets in a bad situation, I'm going to protect her. It's important because we were raised that way, not only in the household that I was raised up in, but we was also raised to make sure we provide and protect our family, make sure we show them that we love them. Hey, baby girl, I love you. If you need anything, daddy right here. All you got to do is make a phone call. Daddy's on his way. So protecting and providing, I don't think it should be mocked. I think it should be appreciated because there's a lot of children out here that will never experience what I provide for my daughters and my sons. There's a lot of kids out here grew up with no father that said, I'm going to protect you no matter what. You know how many women out here walking the streets that had no fatherly influence and wish they could be protected and provided for?
So listen, let me add this real quick. Money Muse says, fast forward, we're on a panel and I don't see it anymore. But anyway, what she's saying is fast forward, we're on a panel and we're still trying to figure out what went wrong, figure out how we got here. So Money Muse, listen, let me tell you this. I say this all the time. What we grew up in was very dysfunctional. I say that's been my story of about 2 years now. Very dysfunctional. I call it out all the time. But I also know that growing up in a house with a daddy and a mama together was the best way to go. I could see the difference in the outcomes of the whole neighborhood. I could see the difference in the community. I saw all of it, and I knew that was where we should be. Now, within relationships, that is the players. We got to get the players to play the right game. You know, like Trey said, whether they believe the vows and take them seriously or not, or whether the woman's cheating or the dad's cheating, whatever situation, we got to get the players on board to do the right thing. That has nothing to do with the marriage. If everybody did and operated correctly, it would work. The marriage is not the problem, but it still goes back to some things that men put in place, even in all the dysfunction that we had, oppression, dysfunction, brokenness, or whatever. It was still a reverence that children and wives had for the husband or for the men. Men were responsible for certain things. They had to do it and they knew it. And that's just how it was. And nowadays, women have been forced to do these things because the men are not there. That's not right. That's dysfunction. We're trying to get back to what works the best. But I want to hear from Anissa right now. So Anissa, go ahead, ma'am.
I wanted to get back to the question. It says money gives men power, but what does it do for women? And I think going back to the examples that we talked about with our grandparents and parents, what money gave women was choices. Because back in the day, if your husband went and had a whole other family around the corner and kids or whatever, because of the financial situation that women were in, they stayed, they put up with it, they dealt with it, they ignored it. But today you could say, you know what? I really don't want to have to deal with your extra kids on the side and your other women or whatever. And I choose to not continue in this marriage based on the fact that there's infidelity and you've had outside children. So I am choosing to exit this marriage, and I'll be okay because I have choices. I can take care of myself. A woman in the 20s, 30s, and 40s could not say that. A woman today can very well say that. So I think one of the things that it did give women was choices.
It definitely does give women choices, but let me tell you something.
Yeah.
I still don't think that was the reason why women back in the 20s and 30s stayed. I think that they knew what marriage was. They had a duty to do so, and they were not going to take their kids.
That's
They were
true.
not.
They had a duty, but you cannot negate that finances had a part in it.
I don't believe that. I believe everybody was poor back
It
then, and I don't know nobody in the I don't agree with that. But anyway,
Well, hold on, I got a
wait a minute,
question.
hold on, wait a minute, hold on. I don't agree with that because I'm gonna bring it to current times. Women right here now in current times who have money, have careers, they are still accepting oops babies, and they're still remaining married. So even though they have
choice, but that's a choice.
Exactly, but I'm agreeing with
choice to stay,
but they have a choice to leave.
And
but
if
they're
you want to leave, you can, and know that you'll be okay. They didn't.
But they're
have
not
that choice
leaving.
in the 30s. Some do though.
They're
But
not getting
that's-
married, but they're having a whole bunch of babies.
But listen,
Some
that's
stay,
that.
and
But
some
that's
do.
not
In the
really a
20s and
point.
30s, you really didn't have a choice but to stay. Today,
Why? That's not
That's
true.
what I'm saying. It gives you a choice.
It's that, but it has nothing to do with finances. If a woman wanted
It
to,
has
if a
lot to do
woman,
with finances.
no, in the 20s and 30s, I don't know because I wasn't there. But
They
I
didn't
can
make no money.
imagine. I can imagine nobody had no money. They
No.
all lived in alley houses.
Exactly.
Didn't have no air conditioning, no carpet, no nothing. Where's you
Exactly.
going? How many kids did you have? It was just different. I mean, that was a way of living in life was different. It was a duty to be there with your husband and his kids, y'all kids or whatever. So I can't even, money was not enough. Nobody had money. The husband didn't have no money either. So him taking care of the family over there, he wasn't taking care of them either. Nobody was being taken care of. We was just living back then, surviving actually.
That can't be true.
In the 20s and 30s, yes.
Bro, there's no way in the 20s and 30s a man could support two families.
No.
I'm
Off of
saying,
what?
Nobody's working and money's just appearing out the sky.
A black man in the 20s and 30s
30s
making
and
good
40s.
money? Get out of here.
What you know what good money was? 50 cents.
That my grandparents were born.
Where did the 50 cent come from? The white man was giving it to him?
50 cents. I mean, I don't listen. It's hard for me to imagine 20, 30s, and 40s. My grandfather was born in 1901. Back then, they used to pick cotton.
Yep.
And things of that nature, but with nobody going anywhere because the man and the woman, the protection piece was the biggest piece of all because y'all already know what could happen. So the woman wasn't going anywhere. I don't care. I mean,
may I say something?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that this happened in the 20s. When I said that my grandparents, they were born in the 20s. That's what I was saying. And my parents were born. I'm not saying that this happened in the 20s and 30s and 40s. But what I am saying is, you see what I'm saying? So what I got
saying, you now. I was just saying, I can't imagine.
No. But I think that is one of the reasons. I'm not saying it's the reason or the biggest reason. I'm just saying I think that's one of the reasons why our parents probably instilled in us so much education and all of that. Because like I said, I was raised, and I'm sure a lot of Black women were taught by our parents. You're going to go to school, you're going to get a good job, you're going to make, be able to take care of yourself so that you don't have to depend on someone. So if you do have to make a choice, for whatever reason that you need to exit a situation, that you won't have to stay in a bad situation because you feel like you can't make it without this man. And I'm not saying that's the biggest part, but it definitely was a part in some of what you see today. So it gives you choices. And Trey, you can shake your head, but it is a reality. If you probably talk to most women, they probably would tell you
Hey,
that.
mute real quick. Mute real quick,
So
Anissa,
when-
because you got some feedback.
When was Black Wall Street built? I don't know the exact time for that. But listen, Anissa, can we have a time frame on when you feel like the options or the choices for women due to lack of money? When did that start, you think? Kept them in marriages. What give me I would rather work with some kind of time frame than, he said 1920s. And then that was in Oklahoma. I'm from the South, so I know about the South and I know what they were doing down here. So you might be right. He said the 1920s was when Black Wall Street was going strong. But I do know that there was sharecropping and Black folks was planting their own food and things like that. But we're talking about money and wife leaving because he cheating and all that stuff. Come on, y'all.
Hey, security boss.
Time frame scam. I like your time frame, 1960. But let me see if Anissa, is that what Anissa's talking about?
Yeah, I'm thinking 60s and 70s. 60s
Okay.
is probably when it started. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay, so let me just share this with y'all real quick. In the 60s, welfare came. Right? And that's when the men had to get put out the house. Right?
Had to get put out?
Had to get put out. I'm using their words. They had to sign a piece of paper saying if you take this check, this man can't be here. Y'all watch Claudine.
And if we come to your house and do a wellness and we see that nigga, he gone. You're
gonna lose your check.
Exactly.
That's the narrative. Nobody ever knocked on my grandfather's door.
So, hey, and
Did
that's
they
right.
receive a check?
Look, and that's your anecdotal experience. However, I'm gonna have to update you on the ghetto because you grew up real good. I need to show you what a real nigga's at, right? Because I'm gonna send you a video.
How old are you, Scam?
I'm gonna send him a documentary of real people talking about this stuff.
How old are you, Scam?
Like, if you have welfare, the man is not supposed to be there.
What?
That's the point.
If the man making $3 a week or at a job, if he man making $10 a week, and like my grandmother said, my grandfather did odd end jobs. My grandmother said she had to straighten hair 50 cents a head for them to just have a little change in their pocket for gas.
Not only that,
so the struggle was real.
Only that, Scam, people didn't have 1 or 2 kids. They had like 10 to 12.
10.
Six and up. If you didn't have 6 kids, you wouldn't live in.
My
did you get welfare right now?
Kids. My grandmother's the youngest of 12.
Did you apply?
12. Yeah.
Our grandparents had 12 on one side, 6 on the other.
You get what I'm saying? You got to have at least 6 or up, or you ain't done.
Right. It was a whole bunch of us too. And I know my mama I know my mama was on food stamps. I know it. I'd seen it.
Now, my family is small. My family is small. My mom only had 4 kids. My family is pretty small, period. But my mom's them family, all of them was 12 and up, 10 and up, 15, however many. They had plenty of kids. So money was very scarce, y'all. There wasn't a whole lot of money going on back then. And I think that would be the reason why the woman wouldn't leave. Because how can one woman discipline and take care of 6+ kids?
Exactly.
That would be a reason. Money would be included, but I just don't think she would even take it on. 6+ kids. You talking about 10 kids, 12 kids?
And you guess what? That's why I wish older people could be on these panels. My grandmother's the oldest of 22 children.
22?
22 of them. Whole bunch of twins in there. 22 kids. She was just going to up and leave one day. Come on, kids. I don't want to be with your daddy no more.
Black man, that's proving our point.
What you going to do with all them kids?
You're proving our point.
No, I'm not proving the point. What I'm saying back then was women didn't even have it on their mind to leave.
Yeah,
that's the point I'm making.
Exactly. Where were they going to go?
What I'm saying is they took their vows seriously. They're not going to leave on no technicality just because they're not happy.
The only place they could go, the only place they could go would be back home with their parents. That would be the only place.
And I can imagine
right back. I can imagine that some of them did that though. I can imagine that some of them might have went back home to their parents. I can see that. If the man was abusive to the woman, I could see her dad coming to get her. I could definitely see that.
You know where the women are going today? Child support office. That's what. And that's why they're so upset that a lot of men aren't paying it, because that was the out. That was the way to get some of the money.
But listen,
that they think.
Wait, Trey, there is a disconnect between then and today. All I'm saying is this: people talking about we can go back to the traditions. The traditions are what screwed up everything and why it looks the way it does right now.
It didn't screw up.
Oh,
I
I
turned out
I
fine.
don't disagree with you.
I
Stan.
turned out fine.
Well,
My
wait a minute,
grandmother turned out fine.
wait a minute. Hold on for a minute. What are we calling tradition?
Yeah.
The tradition. You do this, you think in a box, and if you don't do it, us, the community, the neighbors are going to beat the tar out of you. That was the traditions. You do this. No critical thinking, no actual love, no proper communication, no thinking outside the box. All you do is this.
Oh, wait a minute. I missed that. Let's go back to the let's go back to the tradition again. What's tradition again?
Tradition.
What is that?
You go to school, you come
Okay.
straight home. You park in the driveway. You do
Okay.
this, you do that, you do this, you do that. You do not think. You don't ask why. If you ask why, it's because I said so and I'm gonna beat it out of you. That's what tradition did. So people didn't think, didn't plan, didn't put nothing together. So now you got people, when they get the chance to opt out, when women got a chance to opt out, men are supposed to be these superheroes, provide this perfect family environment that they opted out of. Now the people don't know nothing. Then they teach the next people the nothing. All they knew was something was wrong with this tradition.
But listen, your
Go inside and
tradition,
get out of this.
huh?
Security boss. Watch this. Watch this.
There's no critical thinking.
You left some
Like
things out,
people
Dustin.
today.
But
You
wait a
left-
minute,
you
wait a
left
minute,
some
wait a
things
minute,
out,
Black
Dustin.
man. Before you tell them, your tradition sounds like a disciplined father.
Exactly.
Now go ahead, Black man. Tell him what he left out.
You left some things out. Back in that day, when your parents told you go to school
Come
and
home.
come home,
Yeah.
they're probably because you was in a sundown town, where if your ass was caught out after a certain time, your ass would be swinging.
No,
Because
that's not
and
true.
guess what? Hold on. Because one day, if you want to come and go with me down to my grandmother's house on side of the road, those signs are still there. And they damn 50, 60 years old, but they still there, rusted out. Sundown. Know what that means? We catch your ass after dark, you fucked. So you gotta
That's
come
the
home.
majority of cities, Black
I have
man.
no clue.
Right,
what you're
right. Hold
talking about.
on. But what I'm saying is you
clue.
left some things out. When those people said those things to their children, go to school, come home, you talking about critical thinking. How were they able to critically think when they're not educated themselves? They ain't go to school. These people third grade level, mental. They're third grade level. I just tell you, my grandfather got up to third grade. What can you teach a child about critical thinking in 1953?
That's
When
my
you-
point. What did they teach? Do what you told them, I'm gonna beat it out of you.
Work
And they
hard.
tried.
And what about the
Okay,
people
so,
that
we need to add a couple things to this if we're going to talk about this, because a lot of times too, because I think we're looking for the same man today that was there back then. If we're saying tradition, back then it was very tough for a Black man. I'm just going to say for all men, but we're talking about Black men right now. And I'm assuming, although I wasn't there, I'm assuming that the Black man was probably really tough and probably really mean, or
I'm
his
talking about
stoic.
all races. I'm talking about all races.
Okay, we could
Why are
probably
you
put,
talking about all races when white people didn't have it bad in that time?
well,
They did
Black
not
man,
have
I
it
don't,
bad. They did not.
But feminism was started by white women. What's your point?
And guess what? They used Black women and sat behind the glass and say, look what we did. We made them do it.
but no, Black man, what
That
he's
makes no
saying is
sense.
that
The
what he's
manosphere was
saying
created
is the
by white men too. I'm
what
talking
he's saying
about
is the
women and men.
feminist what he's saying is the feminist movement was started by white women due to the fact of the treatment they were getting from their husbands.
Yes, this is just
Is what
women
he's saying.
and men.
Yeah, but it
He-
was the
he-
husbands that they didn't leave, though.
Right.
Exactly.
What do you mean the husbands they didn't leave?
They didn't
equal-
divorce
wanted-
them.
They wanted equal
Their
right-
marriage rates are
right
going
back home to
down.
their husbands.
No, not now. We're talking about back then.
The marriage rates have always gone down.
For white folks?
Yes,
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know.
they're still
That's
going
not, I
down.
never
You know why?
investigated that
You know why
before.
I'm confused, SB? I'm confused at what's the better option. Because if you're saying that if you're leaving your husband and you're gonna go get married again, well, the second marriage divorce rate is actually higher than the first marriage divorce rate.
Hey Trey,
what's,
I didn't.
so what,
I
so
didn't
what's
say
the, what's the better
go ahead.
option?
Trey, I didn't say if things were fixed and things are better. I'm just saying that going back and pretending like 1957 was perfect.
It just
The
seems
man
to
had
But
me.
to be
who is saying that? Where are you? I've
Nobody
never
said
heard
perfect.
that
No,
1950
nobody
was
said it.
perfect.
It's not. It wasn't.
Wait a minute. I didn't even hear 1950 was good. Are you talking?
Right.
What are we talking about 1950? We talking about being married, or are we talking about the way we lived, or what are we talking about when we say it was good?
talking about going back to traditions. You said if we had the men and we was
See, I
like
don't agree with you on tradition, because what you call tradition sounded like discipline. What I call tradition,
Exactly.
what I
Discipline.
call traditional is being married in order, meaning the wife has her role and the husband has his role. And it also means
I'm for
you
that.
got God, you got Jesus, you got man woman, and children. That is traditional. Now,
Oh,
how you can do
them
that?
days disagree.
Them days
Okay.
over.
I agree with that as tradition. I was taking
That's
tradition
traditional.
as the way they put it out here in the spaces with tradition.
But
That's the disconnect.
But I miss some of those
I
things.
got
though.
you, because-
Let me tell you what I miss. My grandfather said his brother got my grandmother's sister pregnant, right? 2 brothers married 2 sisters. He had to marry her. But my grandfather said when he act like he wanted to get drunk all the time, not take care of his kids. They didn't say, oh, they just, champed him up. No, the men got together. They went down to the house and beat his ass. And they said, you're going to take care of your damn kids, and you're going to take care of this woman that you got pregnant, and you're going to marry her. Hell, they was married. The men held the men accountable. We're going to beat that ass. If you get out of line, we're going to show you. What if we did that today? Every man that abandoned his children, what if we went to his house and did that to him?
You'd have a lot of dead men.
I want to
Exactly.
know. I want to know why he's sticking his meat in there in the first place. If we're
What do
talking
you
about
mean?
holding people accountable,
What do you mean?
so we're picking and choosing. So
Well,
you
no,
go out there and running no raw dog, but then we're gonna beat you up and force you into this marriage, and you don't.
No,
like it.
before, no, what happened, what he's saying is prior to child support,
Right.
somebody need to take care of these kids.
How did
Exactly.
it end up working out?
Prior to the, listen,
Exactly.
prior to the federal government running and ruining lives, they had to figure out what to do and how to make sure things got done. And that
Mhm.
was the way and the method that they chose. Nowadays, we have the child support system, which was put in place because there were fathers or mothers that were missing, and these children need to be taken care of. Then it just became a full-blown system where they could make some money off of it, and that's where we are today. So again, that is the system now in place for holding people accountable. But whether it does or not, I mean, I don't know if that's holding someone accountable or not, but do they have to pay?
Not an accountability factor. It's supposed to be a man and a woman who actually like and love each other and actually planning to make kids. If you don't have that somewhere, a higher percentage is going to be screwed up anyway. Versus a dude just randomly sticking his meat somewhere.
Right.
Baby comes out. Now we got to figure out after the fact. That's a recipe for disaster, regardless if it's the child support mafia or it's a whole bunch of dudes with sticks and bats. It's still a problem.
But that's been going on. That's just people.
Yeah,
that's a
it's
people
worse.
problem. That's just how it is.
Right.
It's been going on
Agreed.
forever.
Agreed.
That's been going on forever. Anissa, you're gonna have to jump in here because they ain't gonna let you talk. Hello.
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, but anyway, y'all. What my point is, Gusto, when you say tradition, when I hear traditional, I'm just talking about order. The way a man decides to run his household is the way he decides to run his household.
That's
And
fair.
where your parents might have said you don't open your mouth, what I say goes. That is totally disciplined. Across the way though, somebody somewhere, daddy wasn't even at home, mama wasn't at home, and kid was letting himself in the house, and he could cook and have a party and do everything he wanted to before they got home from work. And there was none of that. But mom still, go ahead.
It was just a set of rules. My mama said, when adults are here, you're not in here.
Exactly.
When adults are having conversation, my mama would lean into us. I wish you would involve yourself in it.
Absolutely.
Don't you see me on the phone?
Yeah, if I'm on the phone,
You
don't
better
make
not
no
say
noise
nothing.
in my house.
Right.
When I say
Exactly.
something, right? Right. And when I go to this store, all of you going in here with me. See, back in the day, you could take all 8, 10 of your kids in the store. They act like they had some damn sense.
Well,
My
what
mom
kind of
said,
car
"We
y'all
gonna
rode in? How all 10 of y'all going to the store at the same time?
She's cute, we had a van. Like the Scooby-Doo van. We had like a Scooby-Doo van, and on the back of when she bought it, it had a little with a tire go on the back. It had like a little Looney Tune sticker on the back of the van.
Oh, y'all went to the store at the same time.
At the same time. And my mama, when she pulled up, she said, when we get out, don't ask for nothing.
Don't touch nothing.
You
Right.
ain't getting nothing. Everything that you need will be provided when I buy it at the store. We walk to the store, the little white woman used to come over. Oh my God, your children are
Kids
so,
so well
mannerable.
mannered. Yeah.
They're so respectful. How do you do it? My mama said, oh, they know better. Me and their daddy just teach them the way to go.
Mhm.
Nah, you beat the hell out of them. That's what you did.
When you get them home, if they touch something, you definitely do. But wait a minute,
That's
Gusto,
what's wrong with people now.
that's
They
what's
beat
wrong
the
with
hell
people now?
They
What?
beat the hell out of them, and that's what's wrong with people right now.
Oh, so you talking to the white boy in the store
Gusto.
slapping his mama on aisle 3 by the sugar. That's
What
what's
are you
wrong now?
talking-
Because
What are
this
you talking about?
These
White
kids are
boys.
whooping their parents'
Wait a
asses right
minute.
now.
Wait a
I have
minute.
no clue
So
what you're talking about.
wait a minute. Dusto, you're saying that the lack of discipline that our kids have now
It's better.
versus, yeah. What is that what you're saying?
Okay, if beating, and that's how you fix everything.
It wasn't beating,
You
it was a
blink your
whooping.
eyes,
It
beat
wasn't
'em.
it wasn't a beating, it was a
Well,
Yeah, it
whooping.
wasn't no beating.
extension cord.
It wasn't a whoop, it wasn't a
That's
Stop
beating.
okay.
playing with words, y'all. That was a beating. Stop it.
My mom ain't never beat
Y'all
me.
playing with words.
No, no,
I
it
got
wasn't.
my ass. I got
It
my
wasn't
ass
beating.
beat.
I wasn't beat.
Even
I
whipping,
wasn't beat.
even the whoopings and the beatings.
I wasn't beat,
If
but
they
I
work
got
so
you.
well, why does the world look the way it does?
Hold on.
Because they
You know
stopped
why?
doing it.
Right, they
because
stopped doing it and they
kept
made
doing it.
laws
That's why.
against it. You hit
Made
your
laws
kid now,
against it.
your ass going
Because
to
it wasn't
jail.
working.
It did
wasn't
work.
No, it didn't.
Shit.
People
Oh,
No.
come
on
on.
the
Yes,
president.
it did.
Trey,
Yes,
you
it
turned out
did.
good, Trey. You turned out good, Trey.
Did
Trey,
I?
look at the
Shit.
crime rate.
Come on
Trey,
now.
Did I?
Trey,
You
look at the
did.
crime. Look at the crime rates. Come on, y'all know good and well. You sport,
Listen,
spare the rod, you spoil a child. Y'all come on
No,
now. You
actually,
got to
look
know.
at the
I went in a
crime
lot
rate.
of
That'll tell you that beatings
parents were
didn't work.
spanked, and I
Beatings.
went in a lot of homes.
Okay,
I went
we're
in a lot
Crime
of
rate
talking
will
homes
about.
tell you that beatings didn't work.
that didn't spank.
Okay, wait a minute now. He's 1960 now. Okay, we starting at 1960, right?
Okay,
Huh?
we can start at 1960.
No, I'm going back to Dusto. So 1960, Dusto, by the 70s, like maybe 75, beatings was done. You couldn't do it anymore.
What do you mean it couldn't be done? I was born in 80.
And did you get beat?
Whoopings. And
Now it's now
now
it's
it's whooping.
whoopings. Oh my God.
Oh,
Dusto.
now it's whoopings.
You
You know,
killing me,
it's-
Gusto.
That's you killing me, bro.
Killing
Okay,
me, bro.
beatings, whoopings, whatever. Here's the point. It had a negative effect on me and my sister. It
You
probably-
turned
Did it
out good
really?
too.
it-
Did
You
it
turned
really?
out good too,
Let me
Dusto.
rephrase that for the people in
Okay.
the back.
Okay, say it again.
Whoopings, beatings, spankings, all that stuff had a negative effect, and on just about everyone that I know, a negative effect.
So what's your solution to kids that's out
Get your
unruly
hands
right
off
now,
your
want to
kid.
whoop their parents' ass?
How do we get to the false narrative they want to whoop their parents' ass? The reason they
Nah,
want to
that's
whoop
the-
their
that's
parents'
not a
ass is
false
the
narrative.
parents
That's not a
are
false
whooping
narrative.
their
Trey,
parents.
that's not a false narrative. Trey, a police
Slow
officer,
down,
he break
slow
up a whole
down.
bunch of them
Wait a minute, slow down.
calls. So go
No,
ahead.
slow down. How about the 10-year-old
We're going with
edition?
the false narrative.
How about
It's
wait a
not a
minute?
false.
Wait a
One kid
minute.
in
False
the
narrative.
one kid in Arizona. Here we go.
No, hey,
No,
Dusto,
it's
you got a
not.
police officer
Gusto,
right here that
Gusto,
answer these
I can
calls.
tell- I can
What are you
tell
talking
stories.
about?
I went in homes of 10, 11, 12-year-olds fighting their parents. I did it
Okay.
every night.
What are we
When you
talking about?
Every night I did this. I was in somebody's home pulling a 14-year-old daughter up off their
Off their
grandmother.
ass. Yeah.
How about listen? How
And
about the
what's your point?
6-year-old who took? Wait a
What
minute.
does
How
that have
about
to
the
do with
6-year-old? How about the 6-year-old that took the gun to school and shot his teacher because he got a bad grade? Or the 10-year-old that shot his mama
In the
because
head.
she wouldn't give him what she wouldn't give him the game.
The Oculus. He want the Oculus
Yeah,
game, and
that's
he
right.
wait till she went to sleep and shot her in the head.
What does that
But
have to do with
SB, are we saying that if we would have spanked these kids, it wouldn't have happened? I don't believe
Absolutely.
that.
No, if she would have disciplined, if that little boy would have had discipline, that would have never happened.
So the
Absolutely.
only way to
Yeah,
discipline is beat 'em.
but you
That's
can
what you're
discipline
saying.
a child without spanking them.
Well, he didn't have none. But it was something in him that was
That's why it's a false
very,
narrative.
very strong that make him think that he could do away with his mama. And you know what we had for our parents? We had fear. And fear worked.
Listen,
And that's what's lacking.
I'm a big
Fear
fan
is
of
what
fear,
was
SB.
what's lacking.
I'm a big fan of fear. I think healthy fear is good.
It's a
Personally,
Hell
healthy
yeah.
fear.
I do. I've
Yeah,
always
'cause
said
guess-
that. Listen,
guess what? See-
I have a 13-year-old son. I've spanked him one time. In 13 years, I've had to spank him one time, and
You
he had it
proving my
coming.
point, Trey.
Yeah, he earned it. He earned that one.
Guess what
But
else? Guess what else? Fear and shame come together. Now, y'all will talk about bringing the shame back, but
I
fear and
won't.
shame are right there together. Fear and shame is what is you bring it back, but that comes together.
I'm just not convinced, SB, that spanking would deter kids from the violent past that they're going. I guess
They're
because I've
teaching them
seen
violence.
both sides. Where I've seen kids
Listen,
that
Money
were
Muse
not-
said, listen, Money Muse said both those kids had mental health issues. 6 years old, you got mental health issues.
Yes.
10 years old, you got mental health issues. You know why?
Yes,
I'm gonna tell you why they got
true.
mental health issues. Because they were bad as hell. Let's just call it like it is. And they've been on drugs. Let's just call it like it is. They've been on drugs since they were 5 years old.
Woo, shit. You
5
right.
years old. And the drugs that they've been on, Ritalin, what's the other ones, y'all? Come on. give it to me.
Yeah, you sure right. You
Ritalin
right.
is one of them.
You right.
And I'm gonna tell you what Ritalin do for you. I had a kid. Y'all know I used to teach driver's ed in school. The little boy used to tell me, he said, well, he didn't call me SB, but anyway, he used to say, I have to go jog 2 miles every morning just so I can go to school and sit down because of how many drugs he was on to help him there and focus. 5 years old. They started at 5 years old. They're giving them drugs. And guess what now? We think that they mentally ill. What about those ones? She said, SB, no. Listen, what about those ones that don't do anything wrong and they take those drugs from 5 years old?
Mhm.
And I'm saying 5, y'all, it may be during 3, but
And they have a negative
I don't
effect.
know. I don't know if a 3-year-old could swallow a pill.
And they have a negative effect on the children.
when they get 18.
Nah, they
What's the
typically
drugs
give those
have to do
kids
with
chewables.
But I guess you can beat the drugs.
Hold on,
out of
let me say this.
them.
I'm gonna let you cook. Let me say this.
Oh, but let's
You're
ask
right.
this question though. Let's ask this question. Let's
Okay,
just
go
ask
ahead.
this question. Money Muse, I get what you're saying, and maybe they were mentally ill, and I could say that they probably were because of what the things that they did. But people are people. Where was the kid at when we were young? I have never heard in my entire life a 6-year-old or a 10-year-old doing anything to their
Damn right.
parents when we were
Damn
children.
right.
Anything.
That's
Damn
because they used to. That's because they used to beat the mental illness.
No,
out of them.
Yeah.
no, that's not the point. If they're
No, they beat
mentally
mental
ill,
illness into
if
them.
they
Anissa,
mental
back me
ill,
up.
no,
Tell me
listen.
I'm lying, Anissa.
So
You used to
listen,
beat them
if-
mental- you
no.
used to beat them kids.
No, listen,
I
if you're
seen it.
mentally ill, you're mentally ill, and you're going to still have the same behaviors, maybe a different disease or illness, but you're still going to have the same behaviors that would cause you to do whatever you're going to do, act out. At 6 years old, 8, 9, 10, you know what?
Not if you're
It's a
picking a
friend.
switch off a tree every other day. SB, stop. Come on now.
You
No,
mentally
you
ill.
had to go get the switch. You
You
had to go get
mentally
it.
ill.
Yeah, you had to go get that motherfucker. Come on now.
Listen,
Listen.
if
Your
that's the
mental health
case-
gets a whole lot better when you walking out to that tree to go pick up that.
Oh,
switch.
so you
Suddenly
saying- so you-
you're not
so-
so crazy all of a sudden.
So you saying that this mom should have beat these kids, the 6-year-old, and the
No,
10-year-old?
no, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just
Well, I'm
saying,
giving you
I
the
don't- I don't
opposite.
believe-
I'm
I
just
don't
trying to
believe-
figure out where the mental illness is coming from all of a sudden.
Because they beat
You know what?
mental illness into them.
Right, Let
I
me
believe
say
it
this
is
real
on.
quick.
I believe SB. I believe those kids probably did have mental illnesses back then, but
Violence is a taught
they got
behavior.
it beat out of them.
Okay. Oh, well, hey, look, that's what we need to do then.
Okay, now let me
We
say
need to
this.
beat it out of them so we can save some money then, right?
Right,
I'm
and now
just kidding.
there's a teacher at my school,
SB.
and
I don't believe that.
I'm part of the PTA at my school for my kids, where I like to be involved in what they do. And we had a meeting, and one of the teachers was talking about Ritalin and other medicines that children
Yes.
are on.
Yeah.
And she said a large number, we talked about this on another thing, Dusto, a large number of the children, she said probably 35% of those kids at their school are on drugs, popping them pills every day.
Every day.
She said, I advise you parents to take your kid. This is a teacher. I advise anybody in here who has their children on those medications to stop. And she said, I want you to do an experiment. She said, I want you to take one.
You can't stop like that,
Black
black
man.
man.
I was
'Cause
Yeah,
those
thinking-
things are they're mind
She told the
altering.
parents,
You
you
can't
take one. She said,
Black
you
man.
take
do
it
that.
and see what it do to you.
You can't
Black
do
man.
that like that. But let me
Listen,
say
I
this.
can
Hold
tell-
on
I
for
can
me,
I was a
Justo.
teacher, black man.
Let me
What?
say this.
I was a
In what?
teacher.
What you get ready to say? And what?
Yeah,
They're
go
not
ahead.
on that? They're not on it?
They're not on it?
That's not what I said.
Oh, what,
No, I didn't hear you.
what
I
were
didn't
you
hear
gonna say?
From get your hands off them kids and stop beating all the negativity,
Stop beating them kids.
violence,
Uh-huh.
making them violent. To now they on what the drugs got to do with the beatings?
Because the drugs have a
No.
negative effect on the kids too. The kids in that school like this.
No, listen to what I'm saying. I
Hey,
said,
Black,
it,
they
I
try to
said,
put me on that. They tried
I
to put me
said
on
at-
drugs when I was
I
a
said
kid.
at 6 years old, what's happening? Let me tell you what happened. When we were going to school, grade school, we used to have recess. We used to get the principal could spank our bottoms with a little pedal if we
Sure
got out of
did.
control. We got to go outside and run around and scream and holler. So all that crazy that they saying that these kids have now, we got to exhaust all that during the course of a day. But
No.
now they don't get to do that. So what they do is young men can't sit still in a classroom
8 hours.
for 8 hours.
They can't.
They can't. So what
They
they
cannot.
do is they
Don't
give
give
them
up.
Ritalin and other drugs. Or what they do is they change it every 7 years because their bodies done got used to it, just to calm them down to
Yep.
be able to sit in a classroom. Now y'all know it's messing with their minds. This ain't got nothing to do with no abuse. This ain't got nothing to do with whoopings or nothing.
Okay,
The kids
fair
might have been good. The only time they got spanking or pinched was when they was in church on Sunday and they couldn't get it together.
Right.
Your mama pinched you on
Pinched.
Sunday morning. Yeah, you got pinched at church if you couldn't get
Oh,
yourself together. Yeah, you had
Oh,
to.
Pinches leave bruises. Them leave
Who
marks.
cares? You're mine. I'm gonna pinch you. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, y'all listen. So now the kids are getting drugged, and now that we're seeing these kids act out, because you cannot stop these drugs. Like, you can't just take your child off them. But when the child gets 18, I'm sure they don't want that feeling anymore. So now they're getting off of it. And now you're seeing the real mental illness.
Yes.
You're seeing it real. But a 6-year-old, y'all can't explain that to me. That child has had no discipline, y'all. None.
And security boss, think about this. You got an 8-year-old kid, like you said, a little boy that want to run around and play. I remember recess, running outside, getting on the swing, fighting over the swing, who gonna get on the swing and all this other shit, right? But you got a 6-year-old, 8-year-old kid doing what he's designed to do. He's a child. Just because you want him to sit still, that's you're taking from him being a child. You want him to sit like this in the desk all day and pop a pill in him to make him sit still. But he's a child. He's energetic. He's full of energy. He needs to run around and play and jump up on some stuff and catch a football or something. But they doping these kids up because they got them walking around like zombies. And I'm telling you.
So it seems like, look, I want to do this. Y'all put a 1 in the chat if y'all don't spank your kids.
Oh,
this seems like to me people don't spank their kids anymore.
No, they don't. They friends with them.
They put them in the corner. Trey, what you got that finger? Oh, you got your 1.
Write false narratives. So if you don't beat them, you're friends with them.
No. I know parents.
You said put a 1 in the chat if you don't spank your kids.
No.
Right?
Dusto, coming from a parent,
you
said false narrative, but I'm a
Did
parent.
Say anything about friends with parents?
But T-Shaw, let's read this, y'all. T-Shaw said
kids now.
T-Shaw has it. T-Shaw has it right, y'all. Listen, y'all. T-Shaw has it right. She says beatings and spankings are different. Beatings are done when you are angry. Tell them, T-Shaw. I've been telling them that all the whole time, but they swear we've been getting whoopings. Spankings are done after the parent has calmed down. Beatings give me slavery vibes. I agree. But who was wanting to say?
Can I ask a question, SB?
Yes.
Who has ever given a calm spanking?
I have given a calm spanking.
Like, come on. We playing with words.
Oh, shit. Wait,
I have given a never. And I'm going to tell you what it looks like. It looks like I'm very disappointed in you, but you're going to get your ass spanked tonight.
But just the nature of being violent means you have to work up something. Nobody is just violent. Even a spanking.
No, it wasn't violent.
Money Muse. You're right, Money Muse.
It's called gentle parenting. Listen, it wasn't violent. It wasn't violent. It was all about disappointment. I'm disappointed, and when I'm disappointed, this is how I look.
It is violent. It is violent. It's striking another person. That inherently is violent.
It happened. But listen, okay, so that's the case. If that's the case, okay, so you think that's the case. So when people so when principals did it, and they
I used to get them. I went to a
shit, I did too.
That principal wasn't mad at you.
The hell that she wasn't. She was tired of seeing me.
Oh my God! No, when we used to get whoopings, the principal wasn't mad at us.
Actually, they had 2 different paddles. They had a paddle that was supposed to be the calm paddle,
and the one with holes in it.
It had little holes in it.
Yes, sir.
Had another paddle that was wrapped in red tape. It was wrapped in red tape. That was and why was the tape red? They could have picked any other color. They picked red. Why? Because it represents rage and anger, right? And that was the one of, we're tired of seeing you. You're in our office too much. We're tired of seeing you. See, I used to get that red paddle so much, and I'm telling you, it didn't work on me. My mother
even said it. You kept getting the red paddle? You kept getting it?
I got it all the time. I was a terrible.
It didn't work?
Trey, you're proving my point. You're proving my point.
You said you were horrible, but Trey, do you think?
I was a horrible child.
But wait a minute, Trey, was you horrible because of the paddling with the red tape, or were you horrible because there was some mental issues or something lacking in your mind?
No, I was horrible because I was idle. I should have been skipped. I did wind up getting skipped. I should have been skipped. The work was too slow for me. So I would always finish my work before everybody else, and then I would just be doing whatever it is I want to do in the classroom. And because I'm sort of, if you can't tell by now, I'm hard-headed, so I don't listen to nobody anyway. So imagine me as a kid, right?
No,
so I wasn't listening. And my mom would tell them all the time, "You guys keep spanking him. Y'all keep spanking him. Just give him."
You was just before Ritalin. If they had Ritalin when you were a kid,
they tried to get me too. They tried to get me too.
Give it to me.
They tried to get me too.
My mother told him no. She said, no, give him more work.
I'm so glad that she didn't do that.
She said, give him more work. And so I always got way more work than everybody else because I would finish me. It was me and another. I never forget, his name was Anthony. He used to pee on himself all the time. His name's Anthony, and he used to finish his work ahead of me. I mean, with me. They used to give us more work. That's how they calmed us down. They would just constantly give us more work. We want to get more work than everybody else. But I'm not.
So it worked.
I'm not working. I'm not with this. No, it wasn't the spanking that worked. It was the extra work that worked.
No, listen, the spankings are not supposed to go on forever. You know, if a child, like you said, if you needed to have spankings like routinely, we obviously know that there was an issue that needed to be
If they
addressed.
work so well, why do you stop? Why don't you just keep beating them?
No, the child, because that doesn't make sense, Scan.
No,
It worked.
you beat them every day.
Beatings
didn't
fix
work.
everything, according to y'all.
It's
No,
like
no, no.
corporal. Listen, it's like
We didn't
corporal
say that.
punishment.
25
Go to another country, steal something, they cut off your hand. I bet you're not gonna steal nothing else.
I'm also
How
not
could
going to
you?
be
You
in
ain't
that
got
other
no
country
hand.
either.
You got the other one.
And guess what? Yeah, guess what? And you know what? We over here whooping kids with belts. Shit, they over there cutting their hands off.
Straight off. Hey,
Halle.
how about
Black
this?
man.
You go
They're
over to
still over there.
Singapore. Listen, go over to Singapore and do something wrong.
They
Throw,
gonna show your ass.
throw some paper out the car and
But-
watch they cane you. They're gonna cane you, and I bet you will never throw a piece of paper.
It's
out
a
of
little
car
excessive.
again.
Yeah.
Hey,
Okay, that's their
That's right.
rule. I
All the
didn't tell you
kids
to go
walking
over there and
around
throw the
like this.
paper out the car. There's signs everywhere saying "Don't litter."
Hey, security
Everywhere.
boss, that's not
Yes.
the reason why I wouldn't litter and steal. I won't litter and steal because it's not something that I do because I was raised not to litter and steal.
Trace.
But there's somebody over in that same country stealing tomorrow.
And guess
though
what?
they're gonna
If
beat
they
each
get
other.
caught, guess what? They get caught.
No,
What
here's
they
what
gonna
I'm
look
saying.
like?
They're gonna be missing a finger.
If beatings work so well, how come police brutality didn't fix all the problems in the inner city?
Because all of them ain't getting beat.
How come the
See,
ones that get beat
you know
up
what?
don't
No,
get
wait a minute.
beat?
Hold on. No, let's play with this for just a second. Dusto,
Uh-oh.
let me just play with this for just a second because
Oh.
there are examples of everything that we should not do, but we still do it. There are young people every day that are being deleted. There are people that sell drugs that are getting caught.
And they're
I mean,
still
we
doing
got
it.
examples of things that we shouldn't do all around us. And guess what we do? We do it anyway. Guess why? Because we
That's
say to
my point.
ourselves, he was dumb. I'm smarter than him. I ain't gonna get caught. Or
But
I'm
guess what?
special.
So,
These people got
Dusto, I
beat-
want you to go to
people
Chicago and do
got
gentle
beat once.
parenting with them 12-year-olds. Got them 9mm.
What'd you
Gentle
say?
parenting. Gentle parenting.
Yeah, go on in Chicago and try to gentle parent them 12-year-olds with 9mm. They're gonna shoot you dead in your head.
Nah, they need the National Guard.
Black man, those kids are killing. Most of them are carrying 9mm because they're getting beat all day.
That is a lie.
what
They're not
I'm
even at
saying.
home. They're not even at home. They
They're
don't
not
even
at
come home
home,
at
but
night.
They
They're
killing
grown.
other gang members and other people they at same age.
They're
How
not.
do you
What
get into? How do you get into a gang?
oh
you
my
get-
God.
You gotta get
You
jumped
dig
in. You gotta get jumped in.
You gotta
Yeah.
get jumped in.
point.
Yeah.
No, black man. Nobody can just grab a gun and just shoot somebody.
They can't?
Your brain can't just do that.
What?
What?
Or let you get stomped out, stabbed, thrown, shot at all the time. Then
Oh,
you-
that's not true.
No.
That's
What
not
do
true.
you
If I
mean?
walk in my living room right now and a man in there ain't right in my door, I'm shooting dead in his throat.
Wait a minute.
That's
Are you
survival. That's
telling me? Wait a
different.
minute. Are you
You
telling
don't.
me? Wait a minute. Are you telling me the 6-year-old had some lessons?
Uh-oh.
A 6-year-old is a 6-year-old. They don't even know what they're doing. What I'm saying is this.
No. Stop right there.
Oh,
He shot
Stop
him.
right there.
you really
No.
doing this?
No. I can't let you do it because they said he positioned himself.
And we
They
bring
said
the
he
one
positioned
here,
him. And I'm gonna tell you something else.
6-year-old.
No.
One.
Damn, how many 6-year-olds you want to 6
How many?
years
Yeah, how many of
old?
them gotta kill somebody for you to?
I mean,
God
I
damn.
don't want
What
to
we're
ever
doing.
hear this story again. 6 years old?
Is this really what we're doing?
You the one trying to act like it's not going on.
And
This
this
is
the
where we're
same
going.
man on the other night, they're talking about how many. Oh my God, go ahead, bro.
I bring
I'm-
up
This
one
is not
6-year-old.
something that we should hear.
No, my
This should
point
never
is-
happen.
We can bring up gangs from east to west to all of there, from all over the world. They're getting beat. They're recruiting them out of orphanages where all they do is fight. Juvenile detention. That's where they get the gang members from. In Mexico, they teach these people to be violent. That's how they come across the border, kill, go right back like nothing ever happened. Violence is taught. It
Look,
starts from the beginning. That's how you
you're
get
not.
into the
Let me
gang in
tell
the
you
first
something.
place.
That's not true. It's not true what you're saying because innately in us there is good and evil, and we all got the ability to turn it on and turn it off. Now, whatever's closest to us is what we'll use. So you need to know that. Don't pretend that a 6-year-old can't pick up something and hurt you with it because we teach what as young as 2 years old. They do tests. They'll put some candy in front of the child and say, "Don't you touch it." And
I
that
got
child
it.
knows exactly what you're saying. As soon as you walk away, they'll be looking to see as you, and then you come
But
back
that's
around.
because you gave him a
And we're
context.
talking
clue.
I
about
got, I got,
one
I got a
6-year-old.
question.
One.
I wonder how much gun violence was going on in the 60s in Chicago with kids.
They were
Oh,
getting
stop
beat.
it! But why? Because they was getting beat.
They got
No, I'm
jumped
not
into
saying,
the
I'm not
game.
talking leave the
What are you
beating out of
talking
it.
about?
I'm just saying, I'm talking from a family narrative. How many of those little boys were running around in the 60s and late 50s shooting up the place or killing people or stabbing people?
Well,
Where do you
I think it's a little
this-
bit different.
man,
In
where
the
do you think
60s,
the
in the
game
60s,
started
younger
from?
kids were more.
Wait a minute.
Involved.
What did you
Where
say,
do you think the
Dusto?
game started?
Where?
They started in Chicago in the 60s. That's
No,
where it
no.
started.
I'm not gonna let you do it. I'm not, because you know I'm a history buff. Those gangs were not meant to kill other black people. Those gangs were
What did it become?
they were protecting the neighborhoods.
What they're
That's what they
supposed
were
to do.
become?
And helping each other is what it was supposed
Right.
to be.
Exactly.
And what did it become?
Oh yeah, all the OGs died off.
Because
And the
their
young
mama,
ones
is
too,
it because
yeah.
their mama whooped them?
Uh-oh.
The OGs whooped them. How they get in the game?
Was it because their mothers whooped them?
You
That's
didn't get
all I need
jumped
to
in back
know.
then though in the 60s. That's some new shit.
Listen, I got a good one.
So
Did
once
this
they
come from a
started jumping them in
spanking?
and
Did
beating
they
each
enter the
other up,
game
started
because they were
killing each
being
other.
spanked? why are you pretending that Dusto? This is
Are
thug
y'all really
life. What are you
doing this?
talking about? Those
And look,
kids were
Dusto,
not
hold on now, because
beaten.
Dusto be lying, man. Dusto be
This is what
trolling.
we're doing.
Because Dusto said one night if he had a son that was 15, 16 years old and his son was upset and he hemmed him up, Dusto said he gonna put hands on him.
That's survival. Yeah. Only 2 conditions would I put hands on a kid. Disrespect. Why? Because the consequence for disrespect is pain. That's the real consequence. But it's instructional. It's not just, oh, beat them.
You know
Or
what I love
something
about
safety
Dustin?
related. Because that's what the real consequence is. It's teaching the real consequence. But it's not where the trash at? Come here. Hey, who left the towel?
Listen, Easy Money
I
Jones said
love-
we don't know. Listen, Easy Money said we don't know nothing about gangs. You're right, Easy. I don't know nothing about gangs. In the South, they didn't have gangs. They really still don't have them now that much. But all we
They
trying
got
to say
beatings.
is that we used to beat our kids, and they're probably all gang members now. Isn't that right, Dusto?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Go to juvie hall. Go to juvie. Talk to the kids.
Yeah.
They'll tell you.
They're entitled
so
gang
violent.
members that
Hey,
have cars and apartments that their
I'm like
parents
Trey.
pay for.
I'm like what Trey said earlier. My
What?
mama had so much fear in me. They said when I was acting a damn fool, somebody could say, "Go, your mama." It's like I was like a damn transformer. I turned to a
Listen,
completely different
look.
person.
Yeah,
Mr.
it was
Mr.
it was my
Miller-
uncle. It was my uncle for me, black man. My
Listen,
mom-
Mr. Milner says that they were in gangs because there's single black mothers beat them, mothers, and made destructive choices, endangering their own children, never giving them a chance.
Means they were beat into it. Okay.
That's what he
So
says.
far.
I don't know anything about gangs. Like I said, I live in the South, and they're
Gang, I know this.
But
Gangs beat.
where I was at, so we don't have gangs. We have crews. They call crews here.
Exactly. Yeah, in the South, where I'm at too, same thing.
Yeah. Every crew member that I've ever had an issue with, they came from a single mom. They all came from a single mom.
and y'all
But
saying that and Mr. Milner said the single mom was whooping the young man.
Probably,
Right?
probably. I wouldn't put it past them. I would believe that they.
And guess what? One sentence she used to use when she was whooping his ass.
Get out.
Just like your damn daddy.
She probably put him out. I can
You look
imagine
just
she
like your fucking
look,
daddy.
she picked up something and hit him with it. This was not a regular spanking like we said. This is a beating, and she probably did it often. But I don't know about that, y'all. I don't know gangs, so I'm not sure.
So, SB, you saying we need to get back to spanking these kids,
Yeah, I think so.
putting them over the knee.
Yeah. Now you do get too old for that. Now, don't get me wrong. Y'all know when y'all got good kids, and you know when you got out of control kids, and y'all
See,
know
that's-
also.
That's my
Why
thing.
would we go
I
back
think-
to the
I think
very
every
thing that
parent
put us
should
where we
tailor
are
their
now?
discipline to the child. Every
So
child.
listen, Dusto, I'm finna get real. Okay. God said,
Uh-oh.
when he said it, I believe it. I ain't trying to spoil no children. I can't spare my rod. I can't. Now, there's a way to do it, and it's the way that T-Shaw said it. Now, I know Trey don't agree with that because he's saying you got to be pretty upset in order to be that violent, but The rod says your butt needs to get it if you get out of control. Now, I don't know why you think that brought us here. You got to help me with the correlation. I'm not really sure, but I'm not talking about beating your children. You should never beat your child, but we are lacking discipline.
So we should be teaching discipline.
We are, and that's a form of discipline.
Yeah, well, you know what?
Reinforcement.
I have a good.
I think taking a cell phone is more
Positive
effective.
reinforcement.
Taking a cell phone, your child shouldn't even have a cell phone at the age where you should be. Spanking and cell phone don't go together. If your child got a cell phone, they're too old to be spanked.
Yep.
That doesn't go together.
I don't agree with that at all, because
security boss, you always talk about.
I can put air tags and stuff on my child's stuff so that I can keep them monitored. So I don't necessarily agree with that. In this day and age, I've worked far too many kidnappings. I worked far too many missing persons to take that chance.
No, what I'm saying is this: whatever age it is where your child is no longer dependent on you. Like, I didn't think my child needed a cell phone in grade school, junior high, and anything like that. But when they got to high school, then they needed a cell phone because I no longer was responsible for their going and comings. But up until then, they didn't need a cell phone. I controlled that part. Now, of course, you wouldn't spank your junior high or high school child. You would spank the grade school and, not infant, but toddler, pop, get in order. You do that. But that's totally different than beating a child. Don't nobody beat their kids. Well, I guess they do, but I'm not talking about beating their kids.
Right. And from an anecdotal, I'll go here. My son, 15 years old, this was like 6 months ago, maybe. I said, hey, man, didn't your mama tell you to get your room cleaned up and get your clothes put up before you go outside? I said, put the ball down, go in the room now. This is what he said. Man, I'm sick of this. I said, what you say? He said, I'm tired of you, and I'm old enough to make my own decisions. And I said, oh, okay. I said, you're a man now. My wife said, no. I said, oh, no, you're a man. You're a man. I said, let's go get these gloves. I said, I'm gonna show you who the king of this house is today. Go get them gloves. And I said, we're gonna go 3 rounds. I hope you make it. And we went 3 rounds. I ain't had no more problems since. Don't play with me, boy. I'm a grown man.
I got a question.
I run this camp.
I got a question.
That's fair game.
Yeah.
But so you rather box your child and you be anyway. Okay, so let me ask a question. So that was a good one. So if my son came to me and he said that he's old enough to make his decision, I think what I would do for discipline if I couldn't beat him is I would pitch a tent in the backyard and make him live out there, and I would take all his clothes that I bought.
Yeah, no running water, no lights,
right
no
that's
nothing.
Right off of my wife and kids.
Yeah, baby.
I'm just saying the reason he put
he lived in the garage. I wouldn't give him the garage. I'm putting him in the
no. There's an episode where he was playing with him like that. He made him go live out back in the garage. And he turned I'm in the backyard, and then he turned the sprinklers on.
Okay, he can the backyard. You can say you got to go in the backyard, brother. The next step is out, because you telling me I'm old enough to make my own decisions. Wow, that's a lot.
Oh, I'm going in the room and
Trey, I'll put them hands on him so bad. Trey, I'll put them hands on him so bad he wrote me a letter.
Black man, that was violent. Trey, that was violent. I would have preferred. But he said he liked that idea though. Dusto said I'm with that.
No, the reason why is
Dusto lost
very few times. Yeah. No, I'll tell you, like I said, the only time he puts hands on the kid, disrespect and something to do with safety. That's it. That was blatant disrespect.
Yep.
And it was a one time. It's not just like every time he say something. Hey man, what time is it? Oh, I don't know. It's not like you're doing it every day.
No. We're not talking about spanking our kids like that. You just spank them when they disrespectful or they get out of line. You don't.
I mean, disrespect, like blatant, reckless disrespect.
Right.
I ain't doing this.
Right. Hey. And I'm gonna tell Trey, like Trey said, you have to have some level of anger, because let me tell you, when we first started, I'm just playing around with him. I'm just feeling them out, I'm finna beat his brain, I'm about to bust his head. So then he caught me with a left. Pop! Nigga, shook me. I said, "Oh, I got to get him. It's over. I got to."
You know why, Black man?
That's abusive.
He's still angry.
That's abusive right there. Listen.
He caught me and buckled me, boy.
Now it's abusive.
I'm just beating my child. I'm just kidding.
The thing is,
Security boss, your daughter didn't get whoopings, did she?
She got one.
What?
I'm not lying, y'all.
That's
You know-
Mr.
you know
Boss.
who-
Mr. Boss,
you know
did
who-
your son
you know
get
who-
whoopings, Mr. Boss?
No, the boy never got any whoopings.
Oh, he
But
was a good.
the girl got one for school, going to school acting up.
Security boss, y'all are defending all these spankings, and y'all got people who didn't get beaten.
Because listen, I
What?
told you from beginning there was no beating. I told you there was some spankings going on, and I told you that it only happened one time because we had good children. I told you they're good
that's what I
children
said. He
now.
had a good one. He had a good one. If he didn't have to do that.
They're good children. They didn't, you know. I mean, they didn't give us a lot of problems. They didn't give us any problems actually.
I
They
wasn't
really
mad
didn't.
either.
They wasn't bad. They wasn't sneaking out the house. You know how I hear some of these mothers, they talk about how their daughters be sneaking out the house, going out the window and just doing all kind of crazy, wild stuff. And I'm thinking, what? Skipping school. And we didn't have them problems, y'all.
I can't wait. I bought an extra lock,
I just didn't get caught
extra
that much.
doorknob for that, just for that moment. Because when she come back and try to get back in that house, she's gonna have a rude awakening.
I didn't do that either, though. We wouldn't like that.
Oh, see, I'm of
We
the
wouldn't
Michael,
like that.
I'm of the Michael Kyle, my wife and kids.
I was scared.
I'm gonna play mind games with you.
I was scared.
I'm gonna hurt you up here.
I was scared of my mom. I wasn't doing that.
No, I'm saying they never talk about positive reinforcement. They never talk about modeling behavior. They don't talk about consequences that are justified that fit the crime, constructive criticism, all the other stuff. Instead, what's the first thing? Man, he got a C- on all. They just start right there. That's all they talk about.
Ain't nobody punching their
Beat 'em.
kids for no C-. Stop
That's
it.
right. Not for no C-.
Now he moving the
All they
goalposts
talk
now.
about is beating. All the belts.
They might get punched for a 40, but they get punched for a 40, but they ain't get punched for no C-.
It was for the F now.
People take pride in beating. I'm like, come on, man. Get your hands
Where's
off me.
where's that at? In the
Who
dust
take
bowl?
pride? I never seen that before.
So I'm sitting in my car driving, man. I can't wait to get home today to whoop my kids' ass.
I know.
No,
Ain't nobody
man.
doing that.
You know
Nobody's
what?
doing
Come
that.
on now.
But
Come
listen,
on,
y'all, hold
man.
on for one moment. Let's do these super chats so I can get out of here. Look at y'all always trying to keep me up late. What is wrong
Me too,
with you
security
all?
boss. Me too.
They're gonna make me go somewhere tomorrow and beat a kid. Might not even. It ain't gonna be mine.
SB after dark.
Mr. Boss. Mr. Boss. The Nuggets just won the Western Conference Finals.
Mr. Boss don't care nothing about basketball. We are football family for life.
Oh, okay. Come on in.
We are football for life. You
As
thought
long
you
as
would have
they
said
the
something about if you'd have said them Panthers did something. Stop the game.
Oh, y'all some Panther fans?
Of course.
Oh,
of
no.
course.
I'm a Saints fan, so you know we.
course.
Ooh,
I'm a
who
Saints
that?
fan.
Panthers for
Okay.
life. I hope they win one day.
Mr. Boss, who that? Come on.
What we got up here? Mr. Boss, you ain't helping me right now. Okay. TS says, thank you for your $5 super chat. He said, it doesn't mean we need to continue the dysfunction. Y'all know this happened about an hour and a half ago. And he's talking about
He's old. Yeah.
whooping your children and they remain in dysfunction. Was that right? Or was he talking about something else? Or living? Oh, we might have been talking about living in dysfunction as in married couples. Because Dusto was trying to make people believe back in 1950 it was a perfect life and everybody wanted to go back there, which was just false news. I can't believe he said that. But anyway. Oh, Shay Linux, how you doing? It's good to see you. Thank you so much for your $2 super chat. They had poor parenting made them that way. Poor parenting made them. So, okay. Oh, Shay, should they be beaten? Just tell us. You can tell. You can whisper it to me. It's just me and you. Me and you can talk about it. I think they should be beaten. So, yes, thank you. Kids disrespect because you're not their parent. By they homeboy and homegirl boundaries. So this go back to what Black Man said. They're being friends.
Exactly. Oh, you didn't clean your room? Oh, that's fine. Give me some doubt.
I never said anything about agreeing with that. No,
Kids disrespect because you.
No. We're not.
I tell my son all the time, I'm your daddy. I'm not your friend. Don't talk to me like I'm your homeboy.
Vacuum in the ceiling, vacuum in the roof, 3 o'clock. No, we're not. No.
Yeah, he added, but again, thank you so much again for your $5 super chat. It goes back to what Black Man is saying, because that is the truth. There's a TikTok video now. The little girl just had a child. She was 14, and her mama in the McDonald's, and they doing the chat. They doing the TikTok dance, and the mama got her baby, and then the little auntie is 2, and then the little girl 14, and the mama, I think she might have been 30.
Dang.
In the McDonald's doing the TikTok video. I know y'all seen it. Mr. Milner always has good advice. Let's see what he's got to say. He says Black people need to try something different. The slave beating method hasn't worked. Mr. Milner, what do you suggest? Because right now we are totally out of control.
So basically, we gentle parent from the time they're born all the way to the time they try you. Because
Nobody
according
said
to
that.
Dusto, if they try
That's not
him,
what I
he's gonna
said.
beat their ass with his fist.
That's not false narrative.
So, but Dusto, you raise your son, he get up and start smelling himself. That's a down south term. And he starts smelling himself, and he said, "You know what, Dad? I'm sick of this."
I can make my own decision. See, you gonna hit him
exactly, bro. You can come on now,
Black man.
You
My
are
narrative.
contradicting
I'm straight
yourself,
across the board.
sir.
You know what? You
Positive
going to
reinforcement.
jail. You
Here's
going
my
to
thing.
jail. That's what you're
Positive
gonna do.
reinforcement,
You're going to jail
modeling behavior,
because you cannot
consequence.
punch your kid in the jaw for just talking and expressing himself to you. You can't do that.
You got a
need-
gentle
let
parent.
me tell you what you do.
Down.
Let me
I'm
tell you
rocking
what you
ribs
do.
and stick. I'm rocking the ribs and sticks.
Dusto, I need you to go
Son, I
get
love
a
you.
switch. I need you to go get a switch off the tree in the backyard and you angle it just right. Or you can actually go get something else. You got some racetracks around the house? I'm trying to tell you how to do this so you won't go to jail. Because right now, them kids will put you in jail.
Gloves and give them body shots. Curl them over one time.
Yeah, you going to jail.
My favorite has always been, and my go-to is the wall sit.
Oh, Jeff, you took it right out of my mouth, boy.
I had my son sitting on that wall for hours.
And
So
legs doing this.
He like this.
He look like this.
Daddy. Okay, Dad.
Is he better? Is he better?
Oh, he's 10 times better. He gets it.
Okay, he got it. So listen, Sugar Bum, look, when the troll tell y'all weird, then we must really be weird because Sugar Bum is calling us weird. Sugar Bum, we weird tonight. Okay.
Sugar Bomb should have got her ass whooped. And she wouldn't be on this thing trolling tonight. She'd be in the bed with her husband.
You could tell she ain't get no spankings growing up.
No spankings no spankings in the bedroom now, no spankings when she was a kid. Ain't that a bitch?
No, black man.
Spank that weave right off her head.
How would y'all make that?
Safety violations. Anything else? Not putting hands on the kids.
Anyway, guys. So listen.
Can I say this though? Because anytime there's new parents, I always give them the same advice. Your discipline starts when you realize that your child understands what you're saying. When you look at your child and you say something to your child and your child gives you that reaction like, I understand you, I got that, that's when your discipline starts. Stop waiting until your child is 8, 9, 10 years old.
Oh, way too late.
You
Then
are
they'll take the car.
way too late.
They'll put you out the house.
Yeah, the moment your child acknowledges, I understand what you're saying, discipline starts right then and there. And I'm not saying spanking or popping, but maybe you make them. What I used to do with my son, I used to make him sit down on the couch by himself because he liked to be around everybody. So when he would act up, I'd make him, hey, go sit on the couch by yourself. And this was when he was young. He was 2 or 3 years old. And I wouldn't make him stay there long. I'd make him, 5 minutes is an eternity to a child. You know what I mean? But I would make them, you have to start your discipline early. That way they understand it. It's instilled in them by the time they're 12, 13, 14, 15.
Absolutely. No, actually 8, 9, and 10 are the informative years. So you got to get it to them before 8. They got to understand what's going on. So listen, Mr. Milner says something, and then TS says, thank you for your $2 super chat. He says, so this goes for Asian slavery too, right? Listen, they're telling us we can't beat our kids anymore. So listen, let me put out this disclaimer, y'all. This is just not real. We are not beating our children. We got to put out, let all y'all know this is just a joke. We're not beating our children. I don't even have one. My child is 30 something.
Right. I advise.
And my son is 30 something also. So
I advise all of you to take your kids cross seas and let them steal and talk crazy over there. All you're going to hear is, they'll cut that fucking hand off. I'll tell you what they're going to do.
But I have to say this. I have to say this. God said, do not spoil your children. Don't, he told you about the rod, y'all. So I do believe in that. But again, there's an age where this should happen. You can't wait till your kids get grown to try to fight them and whoop them and all that stuff. The discipline starts, like Trey says, when they begin to understand what's going on. So I agree with that too. And we're not crazy, y'all. And we're not mommy dearest energy, mom. No, it's not mommy dearest energy. But again, I do think kids need to be spanked. I do. I'm sorry. Mr. Milner says, though, that it causes some with single mothers. I can see what you're saying, too, because there would be a lot of anger. It goes back to what Black Man said. They may say things that are cruel like you look just like your daddy, I hate you, and things like that, and be not spanking them, but actually beating them with different things around the house. And that is not what we're talking about. And that is not what God talked about.
Right. The
He said
skillets, the broomsticks, the
stop
stitching
that.
cards.
Yeah. He says the beatings cause mental and psychological damage and is often emasculating to boys. And it absolutely can be, because mama will wait till the boy get to be taller than her and be like, I brought you in this where I'll take you out. So I understand and agree with that too.
You shouldn't be hitting them at all.
No, especially when done by these single mothers. There are several methods to effective discipline. And I agree with that too. But again, I am not against spanking to a certain age. I do think spanking should happen. Ooh. Oh, it's a last resort. Yeah, I can imagine that.
I agree.
But
no, I agree with David on that, because if you spank and that spank don't work, you got nothing left.
Nothing left.
You got nothing left.
Your playbook, you're at the end of the playbook.
You are out of ammo.
Yep.
You're out. What you gonna do then? Lock them up, throw them out, get rid of them? Listen, Sugar Bum says whooping kids is barbaric. Really? Disrespecting men is barbaric.
Yeah.
Huh? No, I'm saying we should love each other and respect each other, our children included. How about that?
You know what I think though? I also think that like the spankings and beatings is not necessarily for the person that it's getting it. Most times it's a deterrent to the other people, right?
It should be. But listen, y'all, it's time to go. So Black Man, tell us what's going on with you over the next couple of days. And Gusto, you too. And Trey, you don't have a channel, but the stuff you do over here in this comment section is just way too much anyway. I can't get you. We can't.
You know what?
I don't think we can support you with a channel right now.
I think I'm controversial enough. I should start one.
No.
No. For me tomorrow, because I thought when Trey said that, I was like, man, Trey don't know what I'll show about tomorrow. Tomorrow we're doing Dear Son, Dear Daughter, I failed you. We should have talked about sex more.
And less beatings. You should have gave him less beatings. See, Trey, you could bring it up tomorrow too. Less beatings and more sex talk, right?
Oh, yep. She stopped beating me about 11 or 12. I was probably bigger than her by then.
Yeah.
About 11 or 12, I stopped getting beaten. But
okay,
we never had a conversation about sex. You know, I had a conversation with my son at 10. I made him put a condom on a banana at 10.
Black Lexicon, what are you talking about?
I can't say.
Black Lexicon said you got to be gone, SB. So listen, guys, thank y'all so much for being here. Comment section, y'all are outstanding as always. Y'all have been with us for hours today, and I've enjoyed the show. Again, beating is not necessary, but spanking, think about it. Maybe last resort. Okay, so listen, find me on Cruise Season on Wednesday night at 10:30 Eastern Time. And until then, love somebody and stop disrespecting our men. It's barbaric. That's what Sugar Bum said.
Let's keep spinning. Let's keep playing these games. You don't want to finish, and I'm sorry for that. I am to the core. You want the whole damn thing, then you asking for more. You want that old jive swing, you take up all of the floor. I'm fine with standing at the edge of the door. You be the life of the party. I blend in with the core. You drink it all to Bacardi. Till the bottles no more. Let's take it back for this started. You want the love, I don't got it. Got my soul on the road. You screaming, stay, please don't go. Don't think it's in me to listen to foe. It's so different with distance we roam into zones where nothing get hurt anymore. I just wish I was home when I stepped through front door, but instead I'm alone and completely unsure. And even though you're screaming out with the best of intentions, I don't get it. Why do you always gotta ask me to stay? Why you always gotta go? Playing house, this ain't a home with your soul on the road. Say, why you always gotta go? Playing house, this ain't a home with your soul on the road. See, I've been lost in my thoughts, and my thoughts they too scared to usher off. Sorry, Mom, I just thought you were my world. Now you're not. And I'm just sitting, smoking, sloping in the days, cause my days ain't been the same since I drove your way. I remember the way you wrote letters in blue ink. You and me was in love. Think about what your crew think. I know your moms probably think I'm a bastard. Your pops probably wanna beat my death and take in my casket. But I got sick of fighting, bickering, fussing over nothing, cussing. instead of watching the death of discussions that we once had, days that we once spent in the backseat of our cars reading poets at sunset. It's funny how love can fall out the foreground, get pushed into the back of your mind. We used to twist a spliff and laugh and relax. Are you crying? And I'm trying to find the reasons, so I ask, does forever ever happen, or is it always fade to black? I can't stay. No, I always gotta go. Playing house, this ain't a home with my soul. On the road, I can't stay. No, I always gotta go. Playing house, this ain't a home with my soul. On the road.